Hello, my babies. Welcome to the Leafs and Panthers, minus Kachuk and Barkov and Ekblad. Leafs and most of the Panthers. It doesn't mean a scheduled loss for the Leafs. It could. It simply, you know what? That would be a Toronto Maple Leaf thing to do. Hey, look, the team's down. Let's play down to their level. But you know what? They haven't been playing like that lately. Played a really gutsy game in LA. And I thought a pretty gutsy game in Anaheim. I know that people underrate how good the Ducks have been this year, but they're 20 points better than they were last year. They're a lot better, and they have two good goalies. And let's be honest, the game against San Jose, which I saw in person, a little sloppy. Not great. But I think 5 out of 6 points from the California road trip, that's not something you're upset about. And the Leafs play the Panthers tonight, and they are shorthanded. They are hurt. You must take advantage. You must crush the Panthers. By the way, my brother-in-law called me before the show today, and he said, "Hey, man, I got some extra tickets to the game. You want to go?" And I was like, I can't let Gripper Nation down. I can't cancel a stream and let Gripper Nation down. So I want you to know, I could have been there tonight, but I would rather be with you and Gripper Nation. By the way, we got a good crew tonight. Producer Hayden is taking care of everything technical. I believe Justin Fisher is here on our social team. I know Robert's always here too. Lovers, we're going to have a good night. It's going to be a good game. And this game can clinch a couple of things. The first thing it can clinch is our hearts. Because we need to know that we can beat the Panthers. We need to know. It doesn't matter who's not in the lineup. Playoffs, people aren't going to be in the lineup, or they're not going to be at full health. I just need to know that team in red and yellow with the cat on the jersey, I need to be able to beat that team. It's a mental thing. Beyond that, and this is important, it would put the Leafs 4 points up on the Panthers if they beat them in regulation. It would put the Leafs up 3 if they beat them in overtime. But if the Panthers win, they're tied for first place. And we don't want that. Also, if the Leafs get 1 point tonight, the playoffs are clinched. It's happening. We're going. So, big game. Crazy weather outside. I don't know if any of you are from Toronto or Southern Ontario, but we've had a crazy ice storm. I know that most parts of like Peterborough and Buckhorn and all that stuff, my parent-in-laws, both of them, still without power here 72 hours later. So if you are watching this and you're running on a generator, thank you. And frankly, I have to be honest with you. By the way, I incorrectly pronounced what the Leafs will get. The Leafs do not clinch the playoffs. They clench because we're always holding it in. Clenching, hoping, praying, crossing our fingers and our toes that something good will happen in the playoffs. It's been a crazy day. And you know what's funny is it snowed today in Toronto, and then it got wet and rainy. And so now it's turned into freezing rain again. And it's wet as heck outside, and the temperature's going up to 16 or 17 degrees tomorrow. I don't understand. It's kind of wild, but that's the world we live in. So let's have some fun. Yeah. So let's get into we got a super chat already. Nerdfest Snake says goes to San Jose, comes back even paler. That's true. I could shut off more lights in this room. We've never figured out. Here, look here. Does this help? I need to have this open, but I need to have my brightness up. Does that help? Yeah. The issue with this room is that we've got this big, beautiful light, but it's too big and beautiful. Like it's too good. So I had it facing directly at my face. And then I was like, well, that's not working. I'll bounce it off the ceiling because sometimes you can bounce light and it still lights up the room, which is good. But even then, it's not the greatest. I do look extremely pale. I did not get a lot of tanning done in Northern California because this time of year, it's about 15, 16 degrees most of the time, although we did get a couple days that were 30 degrees and it was beautiful. I do wish I had more of a tan. We're going to have to work on the lighting in this room. Both things are true. So I'll see what I can do for you. Maybe I'll fix it in an intermission. But you know what? The other thing that we're going to do, and you'll see this in the right-hand corner, my right, okay, your left, is the Alexander Ovechkin graphic. And this is important, guys. Ovi is going to pass Wayne Gretzky one of these days. And so what we've decided to do, because that's a pretty damn special occasion, is we're going to follow along. Now, tonight, we'll be on Ovi Watch. So we'll be checking in. Producer Hayden is going to be feeding me information on whether Ovi has scored or not. But on Friday, you and I are going to catch up again. We're going to have a special Gripper Nation stream on Friday when the Washington Capitals, who are they taking on? Capitals are taking on the Blackhawks on Friday. That seems like a good team for them for Ovi to do it against. And I believe the Washington Capitals will be at home for that day. So that's kind of exciting. And by the way, the Hurricanes have already scored in that game. So no goals from Ovi just yet. But we're going to be watching and we're going to catch Alexander Ovechkin's 894th and hopefully 895th goals on these streams, assuming he doesn't score 4 goals tonight. And if he doesn't do it at home versus the Chicago Blackhawks on Friday night, Jesse will have the matinee Washington Capitals and New York Islanders game at 12:30 on Sunday. So there are a lot of streams in your life coming up. Lot of streams, guys. A lot of streams. Yes, 1-0 Hurricanes, 5 minutes left in the first. Cassie in the chat saying, "Hey chat, I've had a week. LOL." You know what? If you've had a week, this is a good place to be. This is where you want to be. We're going to come, we're going to hang out, we're going to shake it off because tomorrow is Thursday already. Can you believe it? The playoffs are 2 weeks away. 2 weeks today will be the last game of the Leaf season. Then we're expecting them to start on the 19th of April, which is a Saturday, potentially then the Monday as well. So the 19th and the 21st. It's going to be a bonkers end of the season. Absolutely nuts. Hey, Big Scoff 47, welcome to STP VIP. Hey, everybody with a green username, you guys are all STP VIP, or maybe you're at STP VIP ad free. If you are, just drop in the chat how much you like it. It's fun. We recorded another VIP episode today, actually, and I think you're going to like it a lot. Talked about everything. Talked about Chapel Roan and that Call Her Daddy interview. Talked about that influencer Ashton Hall. Now, he had that crazy wake-up routine, right, where he wakes up at like 3:45 and brushes his teeth and rubs banana on his face. He also has a go-to-bed routine, and you will like it just as much. Unbelievable. I can't believe that a man with he's such little content of value, and yet viral with 10 million followers. Maybe one day SDPN gets to there. James Stemler can't chat tonight. I have to drive, but I will have the stream audio on and listening. Go Leafs, go. Let's get rowdy, Gripper Nation. James, good luck, buddy. James, I believe, is a truck driver. Thank you for the super chat, my friend. You rock. It's nice to have you here. Guys, I hope you're ready for the playoffs because we're going to be streaming like all the time, and we got some big things planned. I'm pretty excited for it. Just can't tell you what they are yet. We just got through the anthems. The most exciting part of hockey, the anthem. I love that they do the anthem, said everybody. Said everybody all the time. It's my favorite thing, the anthem. You know what I love about the anthem? It's basically the same thing every time. Always predictable. What's going on in the chat here? T.A. Neiman. VIP is amazing. I look forward to Friday VIP episodes. Matt Bruder heard he can levitate over water for 4 seconds. That's right, Ashton Hall. He can do that. Oh, how weird is Brad Marchand in a Florida Panthers jersey? That is super weird. Big love from the southeast of the UK. Go Leafs, go. Small ask for you, Leafs Nation. Please make the Belfast Giants your UK team. So you're from the south of England, but you want us to cheer for Belfast, which would mean you're Irish. See? Right? That must be. And we are off. Now, again, Florida's looking awfully depleted today. But Brad Marchand is playing. It was funny. Brandon Carlo was interviewed before the game. And people were saying, hey, like, do you think that Brad Marchand is going to get at you? And Carlo said, well, I'm excited to see what he has on me. Probably a lot. They were teammates a long time. Here we go. So one thing I want you to pay particular attention to tonight, third line, Lawton, Yarncroke, Domi. I think that that is, don't like that. I think that is their playoff third line. I think Domi has been much better in that third line center position with Yarncroke there and Lawton there. And Lawton seems to have found his spot in the lineup, which is nice because the first few games, I think, as a Leaf, it was a little bit It just didn't feel right, wasn't fitting in. And I think now we finally found a good spot for him. And it's great because if somebody gets kicked off of the faceoff dot, like Domi, for instance, people get kicked off out of faceoff dots all the time. Scott Lawton, Calle Yarncroke, both centermen. They can both step in and take draws. Easy. There's Domi behind the net, chipped out. Cassie. I've had 3 vet visits this week totaling over $800. Oh my God. One was an emergency vet visit last night. And 2 different meds and rice and boiled chicken. They have G Giardia? Giardia? I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to Google that. Cassie, I'm sorry you're going through that. Dogs. No one tells you how much love costs until you get dogs. It's crazy. But we do wish your doggies the best. Definitely hope they're feeling better. Boy, it feels like forever since we've done a stream, and it has been. It's been like 2 weeks. Kind of weird. Although I have to tell you, that San Jose week, it was really busy. It went by so fast. 17:36 left in the first period. Went by so fast. So fast. So much fun, though. All right, here we go. Robert Bett, welcome back, Adam. You guys aren't glad to leave the poor weather of California to come back to the great weather of Canada. You guys should have fake dropped the puck at the Barracuda game. You know, it's funny. We were standing in the penalty box beforehand, and Steve was like, "Do I fake drop this puck?" And I was like, "No, you can't do that." And Jesse even said, "Steve, you cannot do that." But it would have been hilarious. It would have been so funny. Really cool that the AHL actually tweeted out that photo too. It was like, "Damn, thanks, guys." And I don't know if you guys saw it today, but Jonathan Becker, who is the president of the Sharks, tweeted out, since it was a successful time with SDPN Sports and at Steve Dangle, who else from opposing media should we invite down to San Jose next year? And a lot of people said the hockey guy, which I think would be a big win. He's good. He's killer. You know, we love Shannon. I just thought it was interesting. So if you have anybody that you recommend, I think you should tweet at him. Cassie says they were waking me up every hour or so every night crying. Well, yeah, thanks for the great well wishes, everybody. That's what I love about the community, the well wishes. Adam Giardia is also known as Beaver Fever. Still don't know what that is. I've had dogs most of my life, and I don't think I've ever heard of that. That's crazy. I'm sorry that's happening. Just sucks when they're sick, right? Because they can't tell you. It's like when a baby's sick. It's like they can't tell you what's wrong. They're just gonna cry. Oh, oh, McMahon! Oh, Nylander almost had one. Oh my goodness, McMahon with a great setup. There's Bobby McMahon with another shot. Great setup by William Nylander. Great catch at the blue line by Jake McCabe. He can't keep the puck in, but damn, that's the first good little spurt of offense we've seen. Sean Boy says, "I heard Marner signed." Well, I don't think so, unless it was a April Fool's joke. Marner has not signed anything, and I don't believe he will. Not until he wants to test free agency. 15:18 left in the first period. Next time there's a face-off, I'm going to give you the clap again. It's been a while since we exchanged clap. Highly recommend. Nobody's ever had a problem with it. Riley and Carlo, by the way. Carlo was saying today that he really loves playing with Morgan Riley. And he has really turned Morgan Riley's season around. He's not. Oh! And speak of the devil, Morgan Riley almost gave it away in the offensive zone. Not totally his fault. Not totally his fault. Their expected goals for together is somewhere in the neighborhood of like 58%, which is exactly what you need. Exactly. So it's nice to see Morgan Riley turning it on. It's nice to see them seeing some chemistry before the playoffs. Ackman Larsmith from the point against his former team. Cassie says the poops, Adam. Giardia is a intestinal parasite. Oh gosh, that is rough. Poor dogs. Oh, boy, you're really seeing tonight is going to be an earn it game for Florida's depth. They're going to be all about how do we get a couple of shifts in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like Steven Lorentz, when he was playing for the Florida Panthers last year in the playoffs, did not play every game, but he hustled hard whenever he did. Got the contract with the Leafs. Eventually, the next season, he's played every game this year. I think maybe he's been scratched a couple of times, but you know what I mean. Like he's been healthy. He's been in the lineup. He's been a guy Berube likes. Um, this is going to be. This is one of those games for Florida's depth where you go, okay, let's see what you got back to back with travel. You lost a heartbreaker in Montreal last night. Barkov is out. Kachuk is out. Ekblad's out. Let's see what we have. Let's see what we have. And so it's less about winning for them, although I'm sure they'd like to. More about okay, who's going to step up in the playoffs when someone inevitably goes down? Matthews in. Oh, what a setup by Matthew Nyes! Unbelievable, beautiful pass through some legs. Austin Matthews with a great play in front of Bobrovsky, but because he's Bobrovsky, he had that 5-hole covered pretty quickly. Great playing. Good start for the Leafs. Bad giveaway. There's Carter Verhaeghe. Loves eating the Leafs alive. Could it be because he used to be one and they gave him up for nothing? He went through several teams before, things happen. The Islanders also gave him up for next to nothing. Oh, here you go, Bobby McMann. Oh, can't quite get the rebound on the William Nylander shot. Both first and second line rolling today, although now it looks like we got a 3-on-2. Carlo and Riley back. Man, Carlo is so tall. He's a giant. He's a giant man with big reach. Riley up to McMahon, and the puck goes off. Did the puck go off the ref? I think Matthew said, "Good shift, boys." There, that's the captain being the captain. Oh, he almost had it. Look at how close this is. Bobrovsky actually doesn't have the full 5-hole close. He just has got the pad down right at the right spot. Woo, woo. David Williamson, sucks that we won't see Nicky Bobby score on Bob. You want the Bobs to go head to head? But that's true. But I think the Leafs have found a lineup that works, and you know, you know. So Robert is saying if you're watching internationally, ESPN is carrying this. Outside of Canada and the US and in Australia, you can watch games on Bet365. That's so crazy. You can watch games on betting apps elsewhere. Isn't that nuts? But I think you have to make like a token bet, like you have to bet like $1 or something. I know our Czech viewers watch them there. I think it was FanDuel. No, was it 365 or was it? Yeah, anyway, Bet365 is, I think, the biggest one of them all. So I think they're in like literally every country. Dalton Cannon, Carolina up 3-0 on the Caps. That is crazy. But you know what? It's an important game for Carolina. Also important game, less important game for Washington. Like, let's be honest. They are pretty far and away the best team in that division. Let's have a look at the standings, actually. I just want to show you what I mean. Like, Carolina probably, yeah, no one's catching Carolina. And no one's catching Washington. So it's pretty likely that Carolina and New Jersey are playing in the first round. And with New Jersey's injuries and their slide lately, it's looking like, I mean, obviously you tilt Carolina. The other thing I'd say is that since the Mikko Rantanen trade, Carolina Hurricanes have been really good. And Logan Stankoven, who is, by the way, in the running for Rookie of the Year, which is sort of nuts to think about. I know he won't win it, but kind of crazy. He's had 5 points in 10 games since joining the Hurricanes. It's pretty good. That's a pretty good start, I'd say. Playing a bigger role, I think, too. He had 30 points in 59 games for the Dallas Stars. So I think they probably are happy with that start. Plus their 2 firsts and their 2 thirds. That was a big haul they got. Big haul. Hayden just told me that Logan Thompson has a 750 save percentage tonight. Well, I guess he's washed. Washington should stop dressing him. And Charlie Lindgren. They're both bad. Hayden says awful extension, terrible. It's true. Nobody can deny it. So Logan Stankoven, by the way, to be considered a rookie in the NHL, you have to have played at least 25 games in a season. He played 24 last year, but he played another 19 in the playoffs, and he was quite the factor. Isn't that funny? This year he has played 69. Nice. Tonight is his 70th game. Oh, there's Marner. These top two lines have looked really strong to start. We want to keep that going. We want to wear these guys down. That's what you're doing at this point. Wear them down. Outscoring chance them to death. To the death. This is an important game. It will be nice to clench the playoffs with you. Hopefully that happens tonight. Steve Austin says Marner is going to Chicago next year. Hey, want to go to a city just as cold as Toronto, but way worse on the ice with similar tax situations? Ah, forget those palm trees. Come play with Bedard and no one else. I mean, they do have a really good farm system, but a farm system is a farm system until they prove it at the NHL level, man. I don't know. I don't know if Chicago's the thing. If he does go elsewhere, I can see a lot of places. I think he'd probably want to win, don't you? Guy's 28 years old. Randy says I'm wagering Marner ends up in San Jose. Well, I would certainly think that they're interested. And they have like Will Smith and Macklin Celebrini are like first and or like second and fifth or something in rookie scoring. I would imagine that there's interest. Robert Brett, I saw your cast with John Becker. Any chance we can trade our president for theirs? He seems like a great guy, looks after the fans. Well, it doesn't mean Keith Pelly's a bad guy. It just means Toronto's media situation's a lot different, right? San Jose, the Sharks they have this crazy built-in fan base. They're nuts. Like for a last place team, that was the rowdiest barn I've ever been in. It's crazy. And even when I was there for the New York Rangers game and they got pumped like 5-1, when the goal went in, Cole Lund scored his first NHL goal. The place went nuts. It was crazy. They have just a completely different attitude towards it, which is, hey, we're young and we're fun, and not every game is going to be great, but we're going to root all the victories, and even if that means we scored one goal, we're going to root for it. I think that in Toronto, it's a different, as I said, media environment. You've got the Leafs, the Raptors, TFC, all that stuff owned by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment. They're the big game in town, whereas San Jose's got a lot of competition. They've got the Giants, they've got the 49ers, they've got I said Giants, 49ers. Who else they have? They have another. Oh, Golden State, the Warriors. I mean, yeah. So it's a little bit. Oh, here we go. Here we go, Marner. Oh, it's Yarncroke, not Marner. Marncroke is what we call him, actually. I'm telling you, watch this third line tonight. This is important. Listen, I know we're not getting the best of Florida here, but this is depth versus depth. And I think there's a comparison to be had. Is that fair? Lawton rings it around. 8:50 left in the first period. Leafs out shooting the Panthers 7-4. I think they're out chancing them by a lot more, though. Matthews with a shot. Great setup there. I didn't see who got the pass over, but damn, that was a great pass. Matthews chips the puck into Marner. Marner along the half board, out to the point. Floats one in. Matthew Nyes can't get a stick on it. Bobrovsky covers. Wow. I'm loving what the first two lines are doing tonight. And by the way, I think it was Scott Lawton that flipped that puck around the ice. I'm loving what the third line's doing. I'm loving it. If you can get a neutral fourth line in the playoffs, like a fourth line that isn't like a total, like, oh God, every time they get out there, might you have a chance? That would be nice, wouldn't it? So Hayden asked me a question. Would Marner going to San Jose or Chicago be like Tavares joining the Leafs? So there's a couple of ways it's different. Obviously, the similarity is player in their prime, getting the biggest contract of their career, leaving the team that drafted them, right? But I think the reason that Islanders fans are so pissed or were so pissed with Tavares is that he left them and they felt like he led them on. And Marner did not do that, at least with the Leafs front office, because from the sources that I have, and I've said this on the show, so this is not me speaking out of school. He told them at the beginning of the year, guys, it's not that I don't want to stay here. It's I'm not doing any negotiating in season, and I want to test free agency, and I'm going to go to free agency. It doesn't mean I don't want to come back. Just save your offers for then. Now, I do believe the Leafs have tried to make offers in the meantime, and that the Marner camp has said, you know what, guys, we told you at the beginning of the year we are going to test free agency. The guys earned the right. I'm not upset with him about that. But I think in the Islanders situation, it was a little bit different. So if he goes to Chicago or if he goes to San Jose or he leaves, and again, I don't care because the playoffs in 2 weeks, I can smell blood. I'm ready to go. This Leafs team looks pretty good. But if he were to go, I'd be like, listen, man, he's finishing like top five in basically every offensive category. He was a killer penalty killer. He was a good citizen. Yeah, there were some issues around the time he got his second contract, and his camp was leaking stuff out to the media, and it got frustrating, whatever. But if he puts in a good playoff and scores 100 points this year and then leaves, he's earned that right, guys. He's earned that right. And you've earned the right to be pissed about it. I'm not telling you. I'm just telling you, I will be sad if he goes. I won't be angry. I think Islanders fans were angry. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Robert P. Chicago needs to do something big. Maybe sign Marner. Here's what I think in San Jose. I think in San Jose they need um they need defense. So if I were a Panthers fan, I'd be looking at Aaron Ekblad's expiring contract and going, sure seems like a fit in other places, doesn't he? And I don't know what their cap situation is because obviously they're trying to re-sign Sam Bennett as well. But is Ekblad going to get a raise? Does he get similar money to last time? Are they do they see him as a part of their plans? That's a name I'm watching because he would make sense in Chicago. I mean, Chicago just traded Seth Jones too, so they could use some defense. San Jose for sure needs some veteran defense that are strong, that are higher end. Yeah, and don't count out teams like Anaheim too. They have a ton of money to spend. So, not the real Pavel Bure says Blackhawks maybe need to go after Tavares as a veteran. He'd be a good fit there. I do think um I do think that I think he stays with the Leafs. I think that both sides will want to do it. I just think the Leafs are here's the thing from the Leafs perspective. They are also evaluating. They're going, okay, if we go out in the first round this year and we've re-signed Marner and Tavares, right? Our fans are going to lose it with us because it's the same shit over and over, right? So the Leafs also have to look at this and go, is this working? Which is, refreshing to see, right? You want them to say that. Hey guys, this thing that we're doing, does it work for us? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know what? We don't need to know everything today. It's okay. That's one thing that I've had to learn in life. 708, by the way, is that you can't solve every problem in a day. Sometimes there are going to be lingering things that just sit there and you go, well, it's not a today problem. I'll do what I can to fix as much as I can of it today, but you know, can't be resolved today. That's life. Terry M says Ehlers to the Leafs. That's interesting. I like Ehlers a lot. I think that he's got a much bigger role under Scott Arniel in Winnipeg. Now let's have a look at his stats. Actually, I haven't looked at that lately. Um, he also was drafted the same year as William Nylander, just a spot behind him. 63 points in 66 games. You know who else is available in this offseason if you're looking for winger help? Like if a Marner walks or something like that. Brock Besser. Now he's got some injury history and stuff like that, but Brock Besser's pretty good. And he wants a big fat 8-year deal. I think it's 8.5 million he's looking for. He's not going to get 8 on the free agent market. So does he get 8.5, but it's over 7? And would you guys do that? I don't know. So pretty neat, huh? What do you think about the Cologne Sharks pulling their high in the DEL? Broke the EU attendance record for the second year in a row. Possible visit. Hey, man, I would so love to see a hockey game in Europe. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. I've already said one day I'm going to be rich enough to go to the Spengler Cup and go to that cool arena with the wood roof. I want to go to Switzerland, watch hockey, and do the après ski part. And even if I don't have time for the ski part, I'll do the après ski part. You know? What is the record, Hayden? Yep. 17,829 went to go see the Cologne Sharks. Guys, one day the NHL will go to Europe. Alan Walsh has been saying this for years. There are going to be NHL teams in Europe within a decade, I would think. Isn't that exciting? Giggling Cat says, as a Cats fan, we were okay without Kachuk, but we have struggled since losing Ekblad, so Zito might put value on chemistry. That's a good question, right? I mean, listen, Ekblad has been the best soldier I think the Florida Panthers have ever had. Him and Sasha Barkov. Like they're both of their numbers are getting retired no matter what, I would think at this point. Won cups, turned the franchise around. It was a also ran thing until ownership, the right ownership bought it. They got serious and now they're a monster. And they've been a monster for 3 seasons, 3, 4 years. It's crazy. Yeah, they won the President's Trophy a couple years ago. All right. So wild, eh, to think. Like they win the President's Trophy. The next year they squeak into the playoffs, and everybody's like, "Yeah, we don't take them that seriously." And then they beat Boston, and we still in Toronto didn't take them seriously. Well, good work, guys. Karloff with the shot. Oh, Matthews line looking really strong. Lots of offensive pressure here. Interestingly, Morgan Riley was down playing wing. Marner had him covered at the point. It's very Leafs power play. Speaking of, I don't think there's any penalties that have been called. Crispin Welburn, Besser is 28. Yes, he is. Here's the thing, Ehlers is like 28 as well. It's just Ehlers has um Ehlers has I think less of an injury history. That's what I'd worry about. Hayden says those 97 babies are special. Is that because Kaprizov is a 97? Also, Hayden is a 97. Oh. Um, so Terry says, who gets into a scrap in tonight's game? Terry, I don't know that we're gonna see one in the same way. Like Sam Bennett, he's always sort of like a free square to do something stupid. But I don't know that if you're the Leafs, do you take that fight? Like, what are you fighting for? Play hockey, win the game. That's what you're fighting for. I don't know unless this game gets super chippy and it doesn't look like it will. Uh, and let's be honest, they got the horses over there in Pantherland to deal with the Leafs, and the Leafs have the horses here, like Nico Mikkola coming off his $5,000 slap shot fine. You know what I mean? They got the people. They're big. They're scary. They're the Florida Panthers. I just don't know if it benefits either team to fight tonight. Benjamin Johnson says something producer Hayden is going to love. If Besser goes anywhere, it should be Minnesota. You know what? I want to say this. I think it's worth mentioning. The Wild have been operating under that insane budget for 3 years because of those buyouts to Parise and Suter. And next year, according to Puckpedia, a site that I absolutely love, they are going to have, with everybody basically signed, 21 million bucks, 22, it's 21.8, so 22 million bucks to spend. The following year, they're going to have 50 million to spend. Now, that's a lot of contracts coming off the books and that sort of thing, but that's going to give Bill Guerin a crazy, crazy amount of flexibility. That's nuts. Like, and then Kaprizov, you have to imagine Kaprizov, like, I think he and McDavid are going to be the first guys to cross 15 million a year. If McDavid goes to unrestricted free agency, 20 million, you're going to tell me he's not worth it? 20 million. I'd pay him that. I don't care. He's worth like three players. Fine. He's worth three good players. He's Connor McDavid. Figure it out. Sign Connor, figure it out. I think Kaprizov's going to make a ton of money. A Canadian Girl 83, you 97 babies. You make me feel old. Yo, same. I'm an 88. So, Robert Bett, did you see the meme about Steve Lorentz? We wrote in his yearbook that he asked where he finds himself in 15 years, and then he said he would be playing for the Leafs. Yeah, isn't that cool? So maybe this is the year. I don't know if this makes it the year, but I think it's pretty cool that Steven Lorentz was like on the self actualization thing. Oh, looks like we got a penalty. Um, he was on that like the secret early. You got to put it out there in the universe, man. You gotta think. There was like an old LMFAO song. Every day I see my dream. You know, that's what he did. A pop FTW says KEC is Drysaddle's youth club. STPN. The finals, SDPN. I listen. I would love to go to Germany. If anybody knows anybody from the Cologne Sharks, tell them to reach out. We would love to come over and have some fun. Terry M. Yanni Hockenpah done with the Leafs. He's finished. Is he? Is there a report on that? I think he was skating with them today. He was like at practice with Pacioretty. I think at this point, even if he was ready, they couldn't activate him. Oh, so we got a power play with the Leafs, by the way. 3:33 left in the first period. Interference call. There's Marner. At the point. Oh, Matthews tried to get it over to Matthew Nyes, and it is a great play by the Panthers defenseman there to break that up. But holy moly. Oh, that was going to be beautiful. Oh. SDPN says, I have questions about Juvis Balanskis. Yo, that guy's got to be Latvian. But mainly, who is Juvis Balanskis? This is what I'm saying, man. Panthers, this is the all depth lineup. We're going to find out what we have. Panthers keep diving in front of the net, breaking up the Leafs' passing opportunities. Nylander tried to squeak one through. Panthers defense says, nah. Oh, nice. Bounces off him. Cassie says, you guys should totally go to a Wheeling Nailers game. I would love to. I would love that. 28 seconds to go. Second power play unit on. Some scoring opportunities by the Leafs. Nothing converted on. This is a very Sergei Bobrovsky type game where he is just shutting the door. What you don't want to do is let him keep shutting in the door. Because at some point, likely, both teams are going to score. It would be nice if you had a goal before that. All right? Sierra Marlowe. If you're a Bob, feel free to go on adventures away from the goal. True. Uvis Balanskis is, in fact, Latvian. Yeah, that is such a Latvian name. It's crazy. You just, if you pay attention to hockey long enough and you see enough Latvian players come through, you're like, I know. It's like, oh, is this player Italian? Well, does it end with an O or an A or an I? You kind of know, right? Oh, Leafs. Looks like Tanev's going to the box for a high stick. Boy, that Panthers player made sure the ref knew. He did the. I don't blame him, but it was a. Did you see? Did you see? Whatever. I get it. You gotta get those penalties. And by the way, the refs were probably looking for the Leafs because they called a penalty for the Leafs. All right, let's see what happened here. Oh, it's Marchand. Look, look. Oh, look, he looks back there. Ah, it's Marchand. Of course it is. Listen, with a nose that big, how could Tanev miss? Also, if you're a Panthers fan, and I know there are a ton of Panthers fans in the chat tonight. I know you're here. How how much did you giggle on trade deadline day when the Panthers got Marchand? How much did you just evil laugh? You cackled in your Panther layers. Just oh man, everybody hates us. Now everybody hates us more. It's such a perfect fit. I hate it. Like you got to know how much I respect how perfect that fit is. It's incredible. By the way, there's Panthers fans, I believe, saying that Seth Jones might be the worst power play quarterback in the league. Hey, that's unfair. That's unfair. I mean, the Anaheim Ducks power play exists. He can't be the worst one. But I'll be honest with you, I did not watch a lot of Chicago Blackhawks power plays this year. Power play doesn't look so bad for Florida, considering who's out. Deb's asking, do we get an Adams History Corner? I got my History Corner t-shirt on. Hey. I don't know if we can do a History Corner tonight, but we could do one. We could do a hockey history corner with Ovechkin on Friday night. Hey, by the way, Hayden, any update in the Capitals game with 5 seconds to go here in the Leafs first period? Still 3-0 Carolina. No goals from Ovi because zero means none. 32 seconds left in the Panthers power play. Overall, I'd say a good period by the Leafs. I would have liked to see them convert. Kind of important. Kind of important. But Bobrovsky's in net. And he's real good against the Leafs. Robert Bett, Marner's going to Edmonton. Just imagine McDavid, Draisaitl, and Marner on the same line. Don't worry, I've already slapped myself. I don't know if they could afford that, but it would be unbelievably sick. Unbelievably sick. APOP FTW. If I get Cologne to be down with you guys coming over, who do I contact? Hey, listen, anytime you want to get in touch with us for any reason, it's info@stpn.ca. Whether it's for the Cologne, did I call them the Sharks? The Tigers? They're the Sharks. The Tiger Sharks. Um, by the way, I love all the Panthers fans going like, all the Panthers fans just loving the fact. Metal Panthers, I spent the whole night laughing. It was cinema. Of course it was. It's crazy. Uh, Robar, will the Panthers find themselves a Ross Boston? Yeah, they did. His name's Nico Mikkola. His name's Gus Forsling. His name's Matthew Kachuk. His name's Sam Bennett. Like it should be like Manny Miami. Like because Ross Boston is like a blue collar kind of guy, you know. A Manny Miami is tough as nails too, but he's got a tan and he's kind of cool and he definitely wears a chain, like Kachuk does. Kachuk, I believe, wears a gold chain. Does he not? You got to have a little bit of swag if you're going to play that close to South Beach, I think. Matt Bruder, petition for a weekly history corner. What? Really? You guys really like the history corner that much? That's very nice of you. Cassie says, also, I just wanted to say I missed you guys while you're in San Jose. Need my evening streams and chats with you, Justin, Robert, and the whole chat. Well, we missed you too. It was, it was crazy. It was a fun week, and it blew by, and that's how you know you're working hard. I have to say, uh, the guy that helped us out a lot with that was a guy named Ryan Ellis. He works for the San Jose Barracuda. And he was the guy that pitched it and got it passed and made it happen. And I thought that was pretty sweet. And he was with us every step of the way. And I think at the end of it, he was ready to keel over and pass out. He was exhausted. It was quite the run. Now, oh, I love that you guys love Manny Miami's. You got to be a Manny Miami. You want to play in Sunrise, you got to be Manny Miami. You got to be, but I'm also kind of cool, but you know what I mean? That's who it is. Gunners and Kokachuk, future Team USA captain. Could be, man. Like I mean, Matthews is the captain or was the captain of Four Nations, but if it went to Kachuk for the Olympics, would anybody be surprised? And I mean, listen, it could be either Kachuk. I think it's probably going to be Matthew, but like Brady's a captain too, right? Um, you could also probably like throw Quinn Hughes in there. He didn't play, but kind of a big deal and a good captain. Mitch going to USA, like Vegas or Tampa for a discount. Now, if Mitch Marner left and went to Tampa, then I think Leafs fans would be salty about it because it's in the division. But I don't think he would go in division. I think he would go to the West Coast. That's my guess. I don't have any. I have nothing on that. Just a feeling, gut feeling. Austin Fisher. What's the Toronto equivalent of Manny Miami or Ross Boston? Uh, I don't know if there is one. Like back in the day, there was the Muskoka Five where you had Carbolet, McCabe, Tucker, Sundin, and couldn't have been Domi White, right? Anyway, it was the guys on the team that made the most money, and the they all had full no movement clauses. And the Leafs made a bunch of mistakes in signing a couple of those guys to the deals that they signed them to. Um, and they didn't know how to operate under a cap system. And it was none of those players' fault. The Leafs said, here's a pile of money. And the players were like, cool, we'll take that. And then the Leafs said, wait a second, we're not great like we thought. And the players were like, cool, but you gave us all this money and these no trade clauses. Why would we leave? And I don't blame them for that at all. And then the media turned on them, and the rest is history. It was bad. It was not a great time. But Toronto's identity has shifted a lot in the last few years, especially since Dubas left. With Treliving here, like Tree Living is such a perfect nickname or perfect name for him, Tree, because that's what he likes on defense. He likes the Ents from Lord of the Rings. He likes trees. The Ents are going to war. That's what he likes. He likes big boys. So I don't know what a Tommy Toronto is going to look like one day, but I know he's going to be tall. Now, Hayden, it's time for us to go to a clip so I can go pee. What are we doing? Oh, okay. So this is our MVP conversation for Monday. I think you're going to like this. Who should win MVP this year? It's a closer race than you'd think. Check it out.
Do you guys have a Hart Trophy favorite for the season so
Leon.
far?
Yeah, Leon.
Yeah?
I mean, I would put Dustin Wolf in there. I think we talked about that a few times, right?
And not if
Like
they
a-
miss the playoffs.
Like a vote, though? Would you give him like a fifth place vote or something?
No. I got.
You wouldn't even give him a
I have
vote?
5, I think, above Wolf.
Okay, who do you got?
Somewhere, this is not in order, but the 5 to me would be Kucherov, McKinnon, Draisaitl. And then Hellebuck gets in there.
Oh.
And then
That's gotta kill you.
like I wanna lean to Quinn Hughes just because all of he's done as like the single
No, there's no
sole-
way.
much.
the
No
single
way.
sole producer of offense for the Canucks, but he hasn't. They haven't been good enough, I guess. So I'd have to figure out the 5th. Maybe it's Wolf, but I don't think so.
You think Marner gets any votes?
Martin would be interesting, like just
He's
for
5th.
yeah,
in
for
the
how much
NHL.
he's held up the Leafs for that stretch when he was the only player going for them.
He should get a vote or two.
Makar is an interesting case, but he plays with McKinnon, so that's hard to do it.
What if the Blue Jackets make it?
That's what I was about to say next. If the Blue Jackets sneak in the playoffs, I think Zach Werenski deserves that 5th spot. So it's kind of dependent on who's making the playoffs in the bottom part. But I think one of those players on those lesser teams that have been holding up their teams deserves one of those Hart Trophy votes. And I think it might be Werenski if the Blue Jackets can sneak in.
Is Jesper Bratt like the most underrated player in the league?
Yes, easily.
That's crazy.
Yes.
He's what is it? 8th?
9th the league in scoring. Yeah, 20 goals, 66 assists.
And how many Devils do you talk about before him?
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like in terms of assuming everyone's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He there were games for Sweden. I thought he was their best player. That's a crazy player.
Wow. So you guys are leaning Leon just because of the goal scoring?
I think
It was Leon before the injury for me, and yeah, like McDavid's been regular. Like I mean, by his standards, he's still
he doesn't have his
scorer.
160 points this year.
Yeah, he's a top 10 scorer. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But like he's been the best Oiler.
Sure, but you got players on better teams with better performances.
Does Kyle Connor sneak a couple votes in?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But I'm
Unless
giving that
team-
vote to Hellebuck over Connor.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
If Team USA's coaching staff is voting on it, he probably doesn't. Thank you for that. Every Canadian wants to thank you for scratching him in the final. That's the
Moronic.
best
We'll take it.
bounce Canada got at that tournament. That was really dumb.
Yeah.
So best player on best team. You got to lean Jets and Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah.
If you're going top point getter on a top playoff team, it's Kucherov or McKinnon, depends on who wins that battle. They're tied at 109 right now.
Wow.
So that's an interesting case.
Wow.
If you want to go best goal scorer, the guy who's I think done the most for his team just because of who is on his team, and Connor McDavid, who hasn't been Connor McDavid, but Leon Draisaitl has been amazing. Like that, you probably lean Draisaitl then. So there's a case for different guys here. It's an interesting Hart Trophy year.
You got to use your imagination a little bit, and like we know what the Oilers are good at, we know what they're bad at, and without Leon, like, do they even make the playoffs? And like, I'm not even kidding. He's that good.
But you can say that about any team, right? McKinnon, do the Avalanche make the playoffs?
Oh, definitely not.
Right. So you got the same cases in a couple different instances.
Yeah.
Kucherov's a little different, but with Kucherov, like he's like he's scoring points at like a rate nobody else on the Lightning is.
Yeah. Have you considered though? Screw that guy.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I just think we should screw that guy into
He
consideration.
could have. So
That's
wait,
true.
he's tied for the league lead in points.
Yes.
McKinnon and Kucherov both have
Again.
109 points.
So that means
Again.
Kucherov passed up the chance to pass and become the sole leader when he passed up that empty net the other day. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. They eventually got one, but yeah, that was egregious. And he's also done it in less games. So he's done it in 69 games. McKinnon has done it in 74 games.
And the Lightning have not taken up a lot of the headlines this year the way that they have in previous years. They've been really good. Like, seriously.
Oh, we know.
I'm still going to say screw that guy, but also he's really sick.
I don't know why Vasilevsky might be the league's most disrespected superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know what your criteria is for star versus superstar, but like
Big pads.
he was there's that. He was
That's
the
my criteria.
best goalie in the world for like half a decade, and he has like an off season and a half. Oh shit! Lost the series to the Leafs. This guy sucks.
And he was injured.
And yeah, and then he's right back to it.
Yeah.
He's right back to being one of the best goalies in the world, and no one.
I'm curious about if that Lightning and Panthers series goes ahead, because I know Bobrovsky's been a little not the Bobrovsky we've seen the last couple of years lately. But I also think part of that is, I mean, what are we doing? Like, are we going to do this now, or are we going to do this in round one?
You can't floor it every day.
You can't.
Well, I would love you to, and it's fun to think that you can.
But you can't.
Yeah.
And so both of those guys are known for turning it on in the playoffs. And I want that's why I hope that series happens. Also, as a Leaf fan, I want them to win the division.
I hope it's the first
They have never
series-
won the Atlantic.
I hope it's the first series to go 13 games.
Honestly, but it will be like, can you tell me if it's going to be high scoring or not? I don't know, because both of those guys are going to turn it on
To start.
to start. It will be, and then it'll tighten up.
And then it'll be like -1 to -2 in overtime. Yeah.
It'll be nuts.
Yeah.
That's going to be a good matchup, man.
To add to Leon's case, he leads the league in game-winning goals. He's got 11 on the year, which is absurd. He also leads
Steven Lorentz would like a word.
He also leads the league in overtime goals with 6.
Wow.
So you know
Jeez.
when those big moments happen and you need that goal to win the game, Draisaitl showing up, which I feel like it should add to
That
this case.
absolutely
It should matter.
Yeah.
He's also tied for first in even strength points, and we all know power play points don't count.
Don't count.
So, I think that's key.
No, I give it to Leon.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a Hart Trophy favorite for the season so
Leon.
far?
Yeah, Leon.
Yeah?
I mean, I would put Dustin Wolf in there. I think we talked about that a few times, right?
Not if
Like
they
a-
miss the playoffs.
Like a vote, though? Would you give him like a fifth place vote or something?
No. I got.
You wouldn't even give him a
I have
vote?
5, I think, above Wolf.
Okay, who do you got?
Somewhere, this is not in order, but the 5 to me would be Kucherov, McKinnon, Draisaitl, and then Hellebuck gets in there,
Oh.
and then
That's gotta kill you.
Like I wanna lean to Quinn Hughes just because all of he's done as like the single
No, there's no
sole-
way.
Too much.
There's
the
no
single
way.
sole producer of offense for the Canucks, but he hasn't. They haven't been good enough, I guess. So I'd have to figure out the fifth. Maybe it's Wolf, but I don't think so.
You think Marner gets any votes?
Martin would be interesting, like just
He's
for
fifth
yeah,
in
for
the
how much
NHL.
he's held up the Leafs for that stretch when he was the only player going for them.
He should get a vote or two.
Makar is an interesting case, but he plays with McKinnon, so that's hard to do it.
What
if
the Blue Jackets make it?
that's what I was about to say next. If the Blue Jackets sneak in the playoffs, I think Zach Werenski deserves that fifth spot. So it's kind of dependent on who's making the playoffs in the bottom part. But I think one of those players on those lesser teams that have been holding up their teams deserves one of those Hart Trophy votes. And I think it might be Werenski if the Blue Jackets can sneak in.
Is Jesper Bratt like the most underrated player in the league?
Yes, easily.
That's crazy.
Yes.
He's what is it? 8th?
Ninth the league in scoring. Yeah, 20 goals, 66 assists.
And how many Devils do you talk about before him?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like in terms of, well, assuming everyone's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
He there were games for Sweden. I thought he was their best player. That's a crazy player.
So you guys are leaning Leon just because of the goal scoring?
I think
It was Leon before the injury for me, and yeah, like McDavid's been regular. Like I mean, by his standards, he's still
he doesn't have his
160
160 points this year.
Yeah, he's a top 10 scorer. He's
Yeah.
unbelievable. But like he's been the best Oiler.
Sure, but you got players on better teams with better performances.
Does Kyle Connor sneak a couple votes in?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. But like I'm
Unless
giving that
team-
vote to Hellebuck over Connor.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
If Team USA's coaching staff is voting on it, he probably doesn't. Thank you for that. Every Canadian wants to thank you for scratching him in the final. That's the
Moronic.
best
We'll take it.
bounce Canada got at that tournament. That was really dumb.
Yeah.
So best player on best team is you gotta lean Jets and Connor Hellebuck.
Yeah.
If you're going top point getter on a top playoff team, it's Kucherov or McKinnon, depends on who wins that battle. They're tied at 109 right now.
Wow.
So that's an interesting case.
Wow.
If you want to go best goal scorer, the guy who's I think done the most for his team just because of who is on his team, and Connor McDavid, who hasn't been Connor McDavid, but Leon Draisaitl has been amazing. Like that, you probably lean Draisaitl then. So there's a case for different guys here. It's an interesting Hart Trophy year.
You got to use your imagination a little bit, and like we know what the Oilers are good at, we know what they're bad at, and without Leon, like, do they even make the playoffs? And like, I'm not even kidding. He's that good.
But you can say that about any team, right? McKinnon, do the Avalanche make the playoffs?
Oh, definitely not.
Right. So you got the same cases in a couple different instances.
Yeah, yeah.
Kucherov's a little different, but with Kucherov, like he.
Okay, so I missed a couple super chats, and I want to get to this one from Apop FTW, who is clearly a German hockey fan. For $18 a pop, you get a ticket to a DEL game, which is the German Hockey League, in the standing room with all the chants and culture. You're literally on the ice, and everyone around you knows the game. That sounds like fun. I would love standing room. Standing room too, like in the 70s, like 60s and 70s and 80s in British soccer, you didn't buy seats, you bought standing, and they've actually changed it now because they used to have these railings that you would lean against, and they would serve beer at the games, which they don't always do now. And so if you're standing the whole time, they found that people are more likely to be amped up, chanting, and fighting. So they now make British soccer fans sit down or at least have a seat. They still don't sit. But isn't that funny? You would think it was like, oh, it's a comfort thing. But anyway. F Fox says, what would be a good goal to reach to have Steve in a Panthers Marchand jersey? The double edge of the sword is beautiful, especially for us Cats fans. I would love to know, Hayden or somebody, can we screen grab that and tweet that out from the SDPN account? The F Fox super chat. What would it take for Leafs? Like, what would be the goal to get Steve in a Marchand Panthers jersey? for all the Cats fans out there, right? I would like to know. I would like to know what it would take. Really, really good super chat. I love that. I love how everybody's like, I love Steve, but I feel like I need to cause him pain. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. All right, here we go. Now we got to face off. 30 seconds left in this Panthers power play. Guys, it is. I just want to update you on the weather. It's wet, real wet out there. I don't know what the weather's like where you are, but in Toronto, it is berserk. It's crazy. And you notice now, I don't know if this is just fans getting back to their seats, but I think Toronto, I think the arena, I think not everybody went tonight because the weather was so bad. The fans are usually pretty hardcore, but oh, there's Marchand. Nice stop by Stallers. You know, one thing the Leafs have this year that they didn't have last or any time that they played the Panthers before is a man named Anthony Stallers, who I think probably wants to stick it to his old team. Not that they were bad to him. In fact, he had a great time there, won a cup there. But damn, if you're Anthony Stallers, you're not being like, I still need to stick it to you. Oh, and I just jinxed us. Gus Forsling with an absolute rocket past Anthony Stallers. Well, that's what I get for saying stuff, huh? Idiot. Moron. Stupid. Did I forget I was a Leaf fan for like 20 minutes there? Ugh. APOP FTW, that's a good point. I'm glad that KEC keeps the tickets prices low. They're raising all the other seats, normally 35 euros, 50 for the playoffs. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I should have said nothing. Should have said nothing. Crispin Welbert, is Spencer Knight one of the best goaltenders, young goaltenders right now? Absolutely. And he's been highly touted for a long time. But here's the thing about Bobrovsky's contract. It goes until I'm 40 million years old. So trade him, get some value. And they did in Seth Jones. They needed a big hunk of man to play defense for them, like the rest of their big hunks of men. And they got it. There's Benoit getting it low. McMahon down low to William Nylander. McMahon tries to get over to the Benoit, but the pass was broken up. Four nothing Hurricanes over the Capitals. Noted bad goaltender Tristan Thompson has been pulled. Oh, nice little turnaround there. Third line's out there. Remember, pay attention to this third line. It's been a problem all year. Now they seem to have it figured out. I really like this makeup. And it's so nice to have Calle Yarncroke back. People freaking laughed at me, but dude, watch hockey. Watch hockey once in your life. Like I got like subtweeted by another member of the media when that happened. I was like, buddy, have you not been watching? The guy's oh, here comes Domi. Oh, and Yarncroke set him up. And it was a great setup. Come on, man. All right, here we go. Matthew Nyes across the line. One-handed over to Matthews, and just broken up. Both top lines looking strong tonight, and I got to tell you, solid, rock solid third line. Alex Cunningham. Adam, what are your thoughts on the new Rogers TV contract with the NHL? Sir, we outlined our thoughts in today's new podcast, which is posted now. So after the game, go watch the podcast because we did like 40 minutes on it. And I swear to God, it wasn't like tearfully boring or something like that. Cassie says I missed her super chat. Hayden, can you look up Cassie's super chat and send it to me, please? I don't know what I missed. I'm sorry about that. Francis says, what a guy, eh, Cassie? I know. You know what, Cassie? I didn't miss it on purpose, no matter what Francis tells you. Jesse Blake tweeted something out. After the first period, the hits were 21-4 for Florida over Toronto. Now, you can look at that two ways. Florida is physically dominating the Leafs, or they never had the puck, and they had to throw a bunch of hits. Didn't matter, though. They're up 1-0. The Leafs are not getting enough on Bobrovsky right now. And this is where it gets frustrating because teams do kind of smother them sometimes offensively. And listen, there have been some scoring chances. I will grant you. But the thing about scoring chances is eventually you got to convert. And here we go. William Nylander, one-on-one, cuts across, shoots the puck, and Bobrovsky with a big save. Mono a mono, and Bobrovsky comes out on top on that one. More of that, please. More of that. All right. Cassie says, "I bet you know a whole bunch of history about PA. Lots of French Indian War stuff there. I think Jiminville. I don't know, but you know what? I don't know a lot about that. Here comes Max Domi, cross, shoots. Oh, nobody on the rebound. Oh man, see that third line? Telling you that third line's looking good. Although I have to say, so we don't call it the French and Indian War. We call it the 7 Years' War up here. But I can tell you, funnily enough, the man in charge of the brigade that started the 7 Years' War, that's right, George Washington. Look it up. George Washington inadvertently kicked off the American Revolution before the Americans even thought, let's revolt. 7 Years' War led to a whole bunch of stuff that led to the American Revolution. How about that? Look it up. Tell me I'm wrong. It's kind of a funny little stat, one of those weird quirks of history. Also, when he died, George Washington, here's a history corner, had wooden teeth because his normal teeth had rotted out of his mouth. Not uncommon for the times, by the way. Imagine wooden teeth. That would be wild. I don't know if you do a lot of smooching with wooden teeth. Not a lot of smooching going on. Oh, almost too many men on the ice for the Panthers there, but they got away with it. 14-15 left in the second period. Florida having a much better start to the second period. Traditionally, the Leafs have been dominant in their second periods. It is easily, on balance, second periods are the Leafs' best period of the year. Not this time. F. Fox says, Canadian Panthers fan since I was a kid. Loved Bobby Lou and Bouwmeester. 2010 Olympics was awesome. You should do a show in Sudbury. I would love to do a show in Sudbury. I think it would be awesome. Maybe do a partnership with the Wolves. Do a Wolves OHL game. Come on. Would love it. I would love it. Oh, Marchand with a little play. Oh, my God, Benny. Benny, you broke up the play. You don't screw it up, Benny. Oh. Simon Benoit, you could tell he's squeezing his stick a little bit there because he breaks up the play. He almost can't believe it's happened. He's not had the confidence lately of the guy that we saw last year, and he almost gives the puck back. Man, when you get a break like that, go. Go. Just go. SDPN tweets out, Sudbury Wolves have the best logo in hockey. It's not particularly close. It is sick. It's a great logo. I would also, you know what jersey I really like is the Wranglers in the AHL. Go look up the Wranglers jersey. I think it's a better jersey than the Flames jersey. All right, here we go. Lawrence. Okay. Hey, by the way, so Drew has weighed in on the what would be the goal to get Steve to wear a Panthers Marchand jersey? Drew says 200,000 subscribers on our YouTube channel. I mean, we're at 100 and I can tell you what we're at. I know we're at it says 138, but I can tell you a more exact number. We're at 138,800. So almost 139. So we need a full 60,000 more subs. Are there 60,000 Panthers fans willing to subscribe and listen regularly? Can we find you? I would love that. Cassie says, I'm pretty sure Jumonville is the spot where the war started. School field trips back in the day. I might be misremembering. Well, Cassie, you will be happy to know, and everybody else in the chat will be happy to know that I loved history so much growing up for no reason at all. My mom knew nothing about where it came from. She was like, you know what? We're going to make a road trip out of this. And since I'm from Pennsylvania, you know what else is in Pennsylvania? Gettysburg, where one of the biggest tilts of the Civil War happened. And so we went on a full Gettysburg tour when I was like 10, and we had a walking tour guide who took us all around, and there was like a farmhouse in the middle of the field where you can still see bullet holes. It's crazy. There's still carve out spots where cannonballs and musket balls were shot. It's crazy. It's worth going. It's a pretty cool thing. That's where Abraham Lincoln gave that very famous Gettysburg Address. Very poetic. Just saying. Mike D says, bring in the bots to subscribe. No, we don't want bot subscribers. Bot subscribers don't do anything. We want the real deal. Bot subscribers, you know what I mean? It's why I don't understand why people like Instagram influencers buy followers. Like, do you think that there isn't a way to track that? Because you can track that. There are audit services that actually can audit. The first one I remember was Twitter Audit. Used to be able to audit how many subscribers people bought. There was a very prominent Canadian media personality who shall remain nameless, who scored like a 50%. And I remember running mine and Steve's on the show, and we were at like 90%, like real accounts. So it would track real and active accounts versus bot and dead accounts. And said Canadian media personality was for sure buying their things. Just saying. Oh, there's a Capitals 5-on-3 right now. Just, because we're on Ovi watch. Oh, here we go, Max. He's fast. He's really fast. He's going maximum. Oh, nice move. Bounces it off. Oh, Lawton's going to the box for sure. Oh, Lawton got away with one there. Oh, okay. This third line, lots of pressure. We like this. Just can't quite get a shot away. I imagine that they're trying to set Ovi up for sure. Ovechkin has scored. Of course he has. We are down to 3 goals. 3 goals away from beating Gretzky's record. 2 goals away from tying it. Sorry. Okay, we're making sure that it counts as his, but he shot the puck. Man, if somebody tipped that, they're going to feel like such an a-hole. Can you imagine? Randy says, SDPN, we could do a live show at the local Boston Pizza, or my suggestion, the Duke and Duchess. Is that in Duke and Duchess Pub? Would that be in Sudbury? Open to your recommendations for sure. Tyson Barnett says it's game 7 whistles tonight. No kidding. I 100% thought that Lawton was going away there. STPN said, I've always wanted to learn more about Gettysburg, the Gettysburg Address, but every time I look something up on Google Maps, it comes back with nothing. I see what you did there. Justin. So confirmed it is an Ovi goal. We are 3 goals away from Alexander Ovechkin passing Gretzky, but he will tie him for first place once he hits goal number 894, which is 2 goals from now. Just 2 more goals. Man, I remember in the early days of our podcast, young Stephen Dangle going, there is a world where Alexander Ovechkin passes Wayne Gretzky on the all-time goals list. And everybody, myself included, said, you're crazy. You're nuts. Not a chance. And we were all wrong. Let me tell you something. Oh, here we go. Marner, shoot. Do something. Had Matthews, didn't pass. Probably the right call. Matthews was well covered. Nice little play by the Leafs there. Need to get a couple goals here on Bobrovsky. Robert Bet. Who knows? With wooden teeth, if you use pine, the sap will hold them in place and you'd have pine fresh breath. Yeah, it would probably taste awful. Or George Washington with his wooden teeth. And somebody makes a good point. Johnny Jackson in our chat, 8 goals away from 900, which is a nice round number for Alexander Ovechkin. Will he get 1,000 goals? Is it out of the question? I don't think so. Will he get his 1,000th goal against the Penguins? Basically guaranteed. Has to happen. Won't count otherwise. Cassie says, why do cows wear bells? Because their horns don't work. Cassie. Shame. By the way, the Florida Panthers are now outshooting the Leafs. They are absolutely outworking the Leafs. And this, as a Leaf fan, is why Leaf fans get so frustrated with the Leafs. Come on, guys. Their 3 best guys are out. Oh, we got a goal. Tavares, an unbelievable tip. I believe that's goal. Is that goal 36? Nice setup by Bobby McMobby. Bobby McMahon. Yeah, that's goal number 36 and point number 70 for John Tavares in game number 68 for him this year. Unbelievable play. And this starts with a William Nylander breakout play, bounces it off the boards. Tavares is able to be John Tavares. Oh, so it was Willie that did the setup. Hey, listen, they all played a part. Sorry, I got my boys mixed up. Nice play. It goes through 3 Panthers. What a pass. Look at this William Nylander pass. 3 Panthers. Oh, my God. And Luosterainen loses Tavares. Man, John Tavares in tight. Watch the hell out. Tavares, it just says on screen, 15 goals since the Four Nations face-off. He is first in the NHL in goals since the Four Nations face-off. That's nuts. Now, here's what the Leafs need to not do. Give up a goal within the first damn minute after scoring one. I can't stand when they do this. Let's go, guys. Wake up. Austin Bayless, quick, Adam. Keep talking about how frustrating the Leafs are. It's working. It did. I was talking about how great Anthony Stolarz was earlier this period, and of course, that's when they scored. Man, good for Tavares. I'm so happy for him. There were people unironically 2 years ago in Toronto media saying this guy is cooked. And listen, we're all entitled to be wrong. Lord knows. I've had some bad takes. But at no point did it look like Tavares was cooked, but he was coming off a traumatic brain injury. And I don't know if you know about traumatic brain injuries, but they take forever to heal. And they're not fun. They're not recommended. People go, I could have done without. He's come back. Let's look at John Tavares through the years here. He is on track to get over 40 goals. That would be the second most amount of goals he's ever had in his entire career. 47 was the most he ever had. That's when he played with Mitch Marner full-time in the 18-19 season, his very first in Toronto. So this will be his best goal-scoring season since his first season in Toronto. Now, will he get to the 80 points in 80 games he had a couple years ago? Maybe not. But the season that everybody said, oh, Tavares is cooked, he had 76 points in 79 games. Are those cooked stats? I mean, I guess he makes 11 million, so like you need more, but he had 49 assists. He's pretty good at hockey. Pretty good at hockey. Yeah. Man, he's crazy. I do think oh, here we go. We got Ciovi's goal. Oh, right off the toe and in. Yeah, it's so funny with the Caps. They are like it's almost like they're relieved when it goes in. Like, oh, this chase has got to be so much fun for them. It's got to be the best. Like, can you imagine being a part of history like that? Oh, I like this. What does John Tavares' next contract look like? No more than 5, 6 to 7. Who cares? Give him 11 again. I think it's going to be 6 to 7 million. Maybe like 6.5. Again, I think that somebody made this contract comparison earlier this season. I think it was CJ. And he said, look at the Claude Giroux contract. 6.5 million. 3-4 years at 6.5 million. Is anybody upset by that? I'm not. Nyes probably gets 4 or 5 million over a few years, bridge deal, something like that. Maybe more. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it just makes a lot of sense. Tyson says people need to stop looking at his contract as an overpay. He was a UFA and San Jose offered him 13 million. Yes, they did. And let me say this too. Overpay anybody you pick up in free agency, any marquee name, you can argue is an overpay. Especially in a flat cap era, right? You're not paying assets to get this player. In a flat cap era, the only way to get players was like the draft, uh, without giving up assets, that is, or overpaying for them in free agency. And you had to be very careful about that. Now, I would argue going into free agency this year, there will be overpays for sure. But like with the cap going up as much as it's going, like 20% over the next 3 years, it's kind of hard to overpay someone, right? Even if you overpay, eventually it kind of evens out. Like David Kamp's contract, when the Leafs signed that, the cap was at like $82.5 million. And people were like, what the hell are you doing? It was too much money. But next year, when it's 95 to 97 million, I don't know, 2.5 million doesn't sound so bad, you know? Hayden makes a really good point too. You also have to overpay because you can't give a UFA the 8th year. And that is, I think, is a really key point. If you have that 8th year, you can bring their AAV down, right? If you're the team that has them on the roster. That's why you'll see guys like Chris Tanev, for instance. The Leafs wanted exclusive negotiating rights with him, so they had to give the Stars a draft pick to do it. And I think that was worth it. And I think if a guy like Mitch Marner who has a no trade clause, you can't trade him, but you can do all that stuff. Harry French, Nyes might get offer sheeted something wild. If I was a team like Chicago, I'd do it. Yes, but remember, Nyes has to sign it, right? And he would have to go, okay, I'm okay with the Leafs not matching this, although I think they would, unless it was like goofy. If Nyes gets, for instance, if Nyes got an offer, let's say it was like $8 million, that's like 3 firsts and a third or something. It's some ridiculous compensation package. If, like, and anything above that, like if he got offer sheeted 10 million, like you offer him a 1-year, $10 million deal, for instance, right? And you do what Carolina did with Jesperi Kotkaniemi. You ask him, you get him too much on 1 year, and then you sign him to a long-term extension at a smaller amount of money. You'd be giving up 4 first-round picks. Now, the Leafs would be pretty upset about that. There's no guarantee with any of those first-round picks that you'll ever get a player like Matthew Nyes. But you can trade them. So, I don't know. I think Matthew Nyes' deal gets done. I'm Oh, really important poll. Have you hit like yet? Yes, I'm awesome. No, I'm a bad person. I'm considering my options. Don't consider your options. Hit like. Hit like and hit subscribe. Baby, let's go. 5:33 left in the second period. Warrior Womp. Remember when Jason Spezza took league minimum to stay in Toronto? I can't get over how huge that was for the team. And they almost lost him on waivers because stupid Mike Babcock scratched him because he's stupid. Just a moron. Just hey, you know what, Kyle? I'm gonna do exactly what you don't want. What a silly man. Unserious person. Well, or unserious coaching decision. I'll say that. I don't know what he's like in person. But man, annoying. Oh, Kobe Banks, under 9.1 is a first, a second, and a third. Ooh. I'd pay a first and a second and a third for a guy like Nice. That's spicy. Sitting Magic 15. Steve might be inconsolable if a Nice deal doesn't get done. It'll get done. It'll get done. I think he wants to be here. Hey, listen, he gets to play with Matthews and Marner. That's pretty cool. And if Marner doesn't stick around, he still gets to play with Matthews and whoever else they bring in. Listen, if Marner goes and you're the Leafs, what do you do? If I'm the Leafs, I go, well, 2026 includes Kaprizov and McDavid. And if either of those players go to free agency, I'm offering everything I got. That's what I'd start planning for. Maybe you have a down season, but oh man, the Florida Panthers look real good in this period, and the Leafs do not. Wow. Stollers is keeping them in the game. Leafs are lucky to get out of this, but that's why you have good goalies, because they get you out of tight spots. Now, here's a question I have for you. Anthony Stollers can sign an extension with the Leafs on July 1st. Do you think they sign him early or do they wait? And what does he cost? I think the playoffs will determine a lot of that, right? 3:22 left in the second period. Tavares knocked over, but he's back up because that man has a low center of gravity. Oh! Okay, the Leafs need to play better. You're getting run out of the building right now by a team that's on second half of back-to-back. Like, completely unacceptable. Let's be straight with it. The real Pavel Bure, Dylan Holloway was an RFA2 SDPN. How'd that work out for Edmonton? I agree. It didn't work out great for Edmonton. But remember, when they signed him, it was August. Like, it wasn't like he got signed on July 1st. Dylan Holloway got signed in August. Broberg got signed in August. It took a while. They just let them sit. I have a feel. I mean, listen, I'm sure they were working on contract negotiation. But Dylan Holloway, what did he get? Like $2 million? Edmonton was like, Edmonton wanted, essentially it came down to like, do we want Jeff Skinner or do we want Dylan Holloway? They made their choice. Now Dylan Holloway and the St. Louis Blues have won 10 straight games, and he's got like 65 points and having the season of his life. I know, but I don't think the Leafs let Matthew Knies go to August 10th. Oh, yeah, no, we haven't worked out a deal. Come on, guys. You can figure it out. Tom says we got to stop with wishing our goaltending out of the city. I wouldn't wish Stollers out of the city. I want to keep Stollers. Stollers and Wall, I think would be a great Wallers. I think that'd be a great tandem for the next 2 to 3 years at least, because Wall's signed for 3 years beyond this one at a pretty manageable $4 million. You get Stollers in at around $4 million. Then you've got 4 and 5 million, let's say. Then you got 2 goalies for roughly 10% and getting and coming down of your cap, right? I think that's fair. And then you've got this goalie, some of these goalies in the minors, Hildeby's one. There's that Russian kid with the Marlies. What's his name? Marlies. Marlies roster is Artur Akhtomov. That's a guy to watch. He's not as tall as they normally like their goalies, but I think they really like this kid. No? But you got to give goalies time, right? You need they need to be like, I don't know, 22, 23 before they really start kicking off. Look at Anthony Stollers. Had injuries, late bloomer. Now he's spectacular. This is his second great year in a row. It's nice to see the Leafs organization with some depth at that position too. Holy moly. How many years did we go? Maybe Jonas Enroth, Curtis McElhinney, Garrett Sparks. Who else was backup? Poor Ben Scrivens. I think he got a raw deal. I liked Ben Scrivens. You know? Oh. Reeves played his first game with the Marlies today, was kind of invisible. Well, it's been a while. Hey, Justin reminded me of Jonas the Monster Gustafsson. I remember being so excited for him. I remember being told, the Leafs have found their next Cujo Belfour. It's this kid out of Sweden, the Monster. They call him the Monster. He wears number 1. He's big. Didn't turn into it. Jonas Gustafsson, let's look him up. Jonas Gustafson, who also played for the Boston Bruins. Career save percentage of 901. Not bad. 902 in 42 games with the Leafs, and then an 890, and they got rid of him. 902. Then he went to Detroit. Yeah, he wasn't terrible. I think maybe the Leafs were terrible. I don't think he was ever going to be the starter they thought. He might have been good as a backup goalie. Had they invested in like the right starter, man, the Leafs goaltending, the Leafs pro scouting in the 2010s, not 2010, yeah, 2010s, and even really the early 2000s, like from the lockout onwards, unbelievably bad, especially in the goaltending department, unforgivable, unforgivable. Oh wow, got a Leaf player diving in front. 122 left in the second period. The Leafs have just been stomped by the second half of a back-to-back with travel Florida Panthers. Yuck. Wes Richard, I'm late to the show, but I finally made it. How are we looking tonight, Adam? Also, anyone else's allergies kicking their butt this spring? Well, mine are a little bit. I'm itching my nose tonight. Leafs looked good in the first period and have looked bad in the second. Oh, Wes Richard dropping 5 SDPN membership. Thank you, sir. And remember, if your name is Nick or Matthew or Patrice or Sebastian, hey, you guys all got memberships. Courtesy of Wes Richard. Make sure you thank him in the chat. Check out STP VIP. We just recorded a new episode today. It'll be out Friday morning. Like the forecheck of the Domi line there. Do need them to get back. Looks like they have. Why are Lawton and Yarncroke on the same side? And who is covering the point? That is a bizarre. What are they doing? Mikkola had nobody on him. What's going on there? Now Yarncroke. Some odd defensive choices by this line here. Oh, there we go. Lawton gets the turnover. Or that's it's not. Yeah, Lawton, that's Yarncroke. Marncroke, for anybody paying attention. All right. I hated that period for the Leafs. And that's why I didn't talk about the game as much as perhaps I should have. Hated it, bad. But they scored. Good. And you know what? Good teams do that. I was talking to some San Jose Sharks fans, actually, who remember, the Thornton Marlowe, Pavelski, Dan Boyle, Brent Burns crazy years that they had. And they said that the Sharks back then used to do the same thing. You'd have these games where you could tell they weren't like 100% invested. And then they'd be down. And then at the end of the game, they'd turn it on and go, you know what? We need to score some goals here and win this game. And then they did it. The Leafs did that to the Sharks on Thursday night last week. They were not in it. And then the last minute, they're like, let's just go get 2 goals. And they did it. Silly. This time of year, you can't turn it on all the time. You can't. But you should win this game. You need to win this game because it just makes your life easier. Go and win the division, clinch your playoff spot, get 4 points up on the Cats. Like, do it. Do it now. And then you don't have to, you don't want to coast the rest of the way, but like, take advantage of this. Let them play Vasilevsky and the Tampa Bay Lightning, who are white hot right now. Go let them play them. Yukon Luke says, we getting Steve's airport rage corner on VIP? Actually, yeah, we did kind of have a little bit more of a chat about Steve's airport rage. That was a pretty funny segment, eh? I really enjoyed that. Really, really enjoyed that. I actually wasn't expecting it. It's funny. He didn't complain about the airport at any point during the trip. It was only like when we got here on Monday that he started to talk about it. And I was like, we just spent, essentially 7 hours one way and 7 hours the other with the flight and the customs and all that stuff with each other in the airport. He didn't say anything. Player 4 says, now that Ovi is within 3 goals, will you guys be streaming Caps games? Love you guys, and thanks for coming to the Bay. Yeah, you know what? This is probably a good time to remind you. Friday night, I will be joining you for an Alexander Ovechkin-themed Caps night. So it will be Caps Blackhawks that night, and I will be watching along with you. And I'm really excited about that. He could do it, and it would be at home. But we don't know. We don't know. And if it doesn't happen against Chicago on Friday, then on Sunday, Jesse has the Islanders matinee game, which is kind of cool too. So Travis says, airport people have never been anything but nice to me. I'm not a fool through security, though, and I have my stuff ready. Yeah, I'm pretty organized through it now because I just find rather than the only thing that bugs me about airport security now, I know it's like a whole rigmarole or whatever, and the idea is that there's a lot of like performative stuff. Like, yeah, I got to take my laptop out. You're telling me that $100,000 scanner you're putting my bag through can't tell that there's a laptop in there that looks like a laptop? Okay, whatever. What I can't understand sometimes though is every airport has a different sort of setup because I think they all have different equipment. So it's annoying because you're going through one airport and they're like, take off your laptop, take off your belt, take off your shoes, all that stuff. And then another airport's like, leave the laptop in, don't take it out, don't clog us, keep your shoes on, keep your belt on. You'll go through the big you know what I mean? It's inconsistent. It's annoying. Not that I fly enough to matter, but Barron says the Leafs had 5 SOGs in that period. Shot on goal. SOG. Poopy. Not great. Not great, friends. Not great. MT says Steve's airport rant made me laugh till I heard something. I think Steve was ready to hurt something, man. He was not happy. By the way, our new show, our new episode aptly called Now Plus, talking a lot about the Sportsnet NHL rights deal is out. So after the show tonight, you can check it out. A lot of people talking about Arby's and McDonald's in the chat. Are we hungry tonight, kids? All right. Hey, Hayden, let's run our clip. I think I know this one. This is the Dan Boyle one, right? Okay, listen, I want to tell you something. We are not a show that does a whole lot of interviews very often. And I'm actually sort of mad at the fact that only 13,000 people have watched the Dan Boyle interview. I'm angry about it because it's so freaking good. And I feel like people are like, it's not what I'm used to. I'm used to the guys in the studio with the blue and gray background. I'm not sure about this. This interview, he says everything. He's got stories about Keenan. He's got stories about Tortorella. Unbelievable stuff. And Torts had just been fired when we recorded this, like literally the night before. So it's so good. So check it out. You're gonna love it. Here's a clip.
I had Mike Keenan, who was freaking awful. I'll say it right now. He was a terrible coach for me. I was there, I think, 19 games. I was scratched like 16 in a row. And then Lance Pitlick, to throw an old name out there, had a baby at the last second, and they called me. And that's how I got the 3 games. But that was it. So it was tough. I think then I was on cruise control for like the rest of my career. And then when I retired, I realized at the beginning, at the end, how important coaching is. Mm-hmm. Because for the 12 years in Tampa and in San Jose, I don't say, like, I was just kind of doing my thing. They were allowing me to do my thing. I had proved myself at that point. But a coach is very important in the development of a young player. And, those Sharks, those young guys, hopefully they have the right guys pushing them.
There is something to be said for coaches that can handle young talent. Mike Keenan seems like a guy that couldn't. Even Gretzky didn't like playing for him, right?
God.
Like, so it's there are people that loved him. There are people that didn't.
Yeah.
What is it about Mike Keenan, for instance, that didn't gel with young players?
Well, I mean, geez, again, how long do we have? I mean, he came in and berated, again, throwing names of old, unless they're watching it. Anders Eriksson, Bubba Eriksson.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we remember.
So again, I hadn't played. First period, we come in. Bubba's to my left. He comes in. He's, you're terrible. Blah, 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 blah. And then he looks at me and goes, you're worse. And I'm like, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking, I haven't played. Right? So he goes off on Bubba, and then he looks at me and goes, you're worse. And I go, and I'm in my head, I'm like, I haven't played.
Right.
But you can't say anything because I'm a 21, 22-year-old kid that, So to me, that's horrible coaching. Or at the very least, bring me in the locker room after or in your office and say, hey, man, I just did that for a reason, blah, 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 and build me up.
Right.
And to me, that's when you tear guys down, I think that to me is bad coaching. I think you obviously can't let the young guys do what they want. It has to be within a system. But find a way to squeeze the best out of them. And that's where I think Mike failed me, at least, and failed a lot of other guys.
Now, you then move on to another tough coach, right? So you move, it's literally the cross-state rival, Tampa Bay Lightning. You end up playing for John Tortorella. And this is a team on the rise. There are a lot of young, good players. Brad Richards, Marty St. Louis, Vincent LeCavalier. There's so many great players there that, have gone on to, make the Hall of Fame. And ultimately you guys won a cup. Torts just either stepped down or was let go, depending upon who you ask, as of this morning.
Yes, I did see that, yeah.
What's he like to play for? You were still in your early 20s.
Yeah, so at this point I had 4 years in Florida. I wasn't getting in the lineup. I get traded to Tampa, which at the time they were second to last in the league. Wow. I think Florida was last, Tampa was second to last. And I just kind of had a talk with myself in the mirror, and I said, I'm just going to go and play my game, because I've got 1.5 feet out the door out of the NHL. I'm barely getting an opportunity here, so I'm just going to play my game. So I get there right around the trade deadline, and the team's last. So they basically just Torts didn't know who I was. Rick Dudley's the one who got me, who I've never met to this day. So I don't know if he's watching.
Wow. So he traded
but
for
he's
you?
the one that traded for me. He changed my life, and I've never met him. Wow. So I would give him a big hug today. But he's the one that got me. Torts didn't know who I was, and Craig Ramsey was our D coach, so he also saved my career. But yeah, they just threw us out there, and the team was way out of a playoff spot, which is what the Sharks are now. And some guys didn't respond, and then others like me and Marty and Brad and Vinny were young, and we just kind of put something together the second half of that season, and then we made the playoffs the next year and won a cup 2 years later. So we went from basically last to winning a cup within 2 years. Torts had a lot to do with that, but we had to learn how to play under him. But I think he also learned how to coach certain guys differently. And it took Marty, and it took me, and it took Richie and Vinny going in, and there was some headbutts. There was some stuff that I'm taking to my grave. I mean, Torts will know what I'm talking about. It wasn't pretty, but at the end of the day, there was respect. And we had a couple tussles, but I was playing 30 minutes a night. He's the only coach.
Wow.
He's the only coach that ever yelled at me for coming off the ice.
Hey, under what circumstance?
So,
what happened?
So it was a power play. I want to say I was out there for 40 seconds, first power play, and it was one of those nights I'm not feeling it. I'm not making, my passes aren't crisp. I'm off. So as a team guy, I'm like, I'm gonna let Kubina, whoever's next, go do it, right? And then the next day, he waited the next day, team meeting. They had little laser pointers.
Yep.
Yes, I remember.
So he plays the power play. So 40 seconds in, presses pause, and then goes like this. Circles the time on the remaining power play. It says 122 left. He goes, "What the fuck are you doing?" I go, I'm getting off. I'm like, I'm having a shitty night. I'm not fucking playing well. And he goes, "You fucking stay out there. You stay out there." And he was saying, "Stay out there. We want you. We need you." And it was like this weird, oh shit, like this guy really like, and it was that made me
Quite the
feel
compliment.
so good.
It's a bit of a change from you're worse.
Yeah, right. Like complete opposite. Here I am, like trying to do the right thing, get off the ice, and he's the only coach that ever yelled at me for coming off, and he was like, "Stay on." And again, 6 years there, I led the league in ice time. I think it was me and Chara like neck and neck for like 6 years, and so how can I complain about playing for Torts? He got the best out of us, but you have to have thick skin, and that's where the players that don't usually will crumble under Torts, but the guys that do have thick skin can thrive.
Day to day, does he have that big personality? Like every day you walk in, is it that kind of same vibe, or is it different?
It depends on the day, obviously.
Does it depend on the game before?
It depends on the game before. Depends on the day. We had a great leader. Dave Anderchuk was our captain, and he was 40, and he was kind of the buffer between Torts and us. And Andy was super important for us in Tampa. Torts would come in, yell at us, and Andy would be like, fuck that or whatever. And we would kind of come together almost in spite of him, which I think is what he wanted, which is probably a coaching tactic that worked obviously for us, and it kept us together. But yeah, there were days where we thought we were going to get chewed out, and we came out and we were like, we put tennis balls out there and we were practicing how to like block shots with tennis balls, which was kind of weird and fun. But like, so it was unpredictable, but obviously efficient. We won a cup.
Well, you answered my question right before I was going to ask it. Like, does he have a tell, or did you just not know what was ever going to come?
Yeah, I don't think he did, but I think the struggle is how long. I think you can do that. I think that's why what we've seen from Torts is when he usually shows up, it's effective early on, and then eventually sometimes some guys can tune out and it gets hard, and that's where I think I can't speak for Torts and what he's done the last 10 years. I haven't been in the locker room, but I know for us as it dragged on, it got a little harder on some guys. And so, but no, it was definitely unpredictable, but held guys accountable. And he was always the best coach for me to inspire. You show up to Phoenix back in the day or Chicago when they were bad and there was nobody in the crowd. His speeches are really good, and he finds a way to motivate guys.
Hello. Did you enjoy that? Am I live? I'm live. What's up, kids? That felt short. Maybe because I was texting. I want to say something. You guys need to watch that full Dan Boyle interview. It's so good. It's so good. He's just great. The guy, man, the guy rocks. Oh, Natalie says I'm going to listen to the whole thing. Is that because she's married to me? And she has to anyway? Actually, I think it's really nice because Natalie didn't listen to the show for the first few years that we were dating and married. But now, because I make her watch so much hockey, she was always a hockey fan, but like this is like a whole new level. Now she's like, I'm obsessed too. And why wouldn't you be? Why wouldn't you be? So, how do we feel? 5-2 Hurricanes? 5-1. Natalie asks, who was I texting? I was texting the CJ Show chat. Steve's making us all laugh tonight. Listen, I gotta say something. We desperately need the Leafs to come out and have a really good period here. I will be upset. I will be upset if they don't. You got to win this game. Michael Dahl, currently sitting in the arena, but have you in my ear, LOL. Bit of a delay. Oh, that's cool. Pickleball Pat, I'm not obsessed tonight. This game is kind of sucking so far. Pat, that is exactly how you should feel, buddy. Not great. Not great. Super not great. The vibes are strong in the chat. The vibes are not strong on the ice. Leafs want to just maybe do something? They did score. That was nice, but come on. That second period stunk. Oh my gosh. All right. Guys, I'm going to need the Leafs to play well. Is that too much to ask? Wilgeman says, how about the St. Louis Blues hoping for Toronto or Montreal in the conference final? Damn, those St. Louis Blues are on fuego. I want to know. So we were going through it in the show today, and they could play Vegas because they're now in the top wild card spot because Minnesota's had a ton of injuries. They're now in the wild card one. So if they remain there, they're playing Vegas. If they somehow catch the Colorado Avalanche because they just keep winning games, I mean, there's a 5-point spread. It would be hard to do. But if they did, they would play the Dallas Stars. And let's say Minnesota all of a sudden goes on a tear and the Blues get cold. Well, then you've got playing the Jets. And I'll be honest with you. You're playing anybody in the playoffs. They're a good team. But if I wanted to play anybody based on their recent playoff success, if I'm the Blues, I want to play the Jets. Like maybe they're winning too much. I mean, I guess it's the playoffs. Everybody's a good team, but the Jets got run out of the playoffs that last year. I wonder if, I mean, that was under Rick Bowness, so different team. And it's funny with the Jets. Like, it's not like they went out and made crazy deals. They kind of have done it with the same roster. Does the goaltending disappear in the playoffs? Oh, why am I yawning? Do we get hella fraud or hella buck? Does Kyle Connor continue scoring like he can? You know, it's tighter in the playoffs. Harder to score. I don't know. Randy, Adam, I love that you guys are genuine buds. You, Steve, and Mr. Blake. We are genuine friends. Always. Always. That came first. The business came later. And you know what? We're lucky. You don't get to see your friends every day most of the time as an adult. We do, pretty much. Jacqueline K, you're making me yawn, Adam. I'm sorry. I don't know where it's coming from. I'm drinking coffee. I don't know. Good little start by the Leafs there. First 30 seconds. Mitch Marner makes something happen in the offensive zone. Need them to continue to do that. Sorry for everybody for making you yawn. I don't know why. Like, it just sometimes it just hits me and I'm like, and then for like 5 minutes, I'm tired and then I fire it all back up again. Don't know what the deal is. Big SDPN poll. Who's winning this game, chat? Leafs or Panthers? Better be the freaking Leafs. I'm going to be so mad. Steve's going to be mad too. Like, you think mad? Steve will be mad. Go and win this game, guys. Don't be doofuses. Killer instinct. Please God once in your life. Step on them. Oh, nice interception by Tavares. Oh, good little play. So that's 2 good chances in the first minute 10. I like that. Oh. It's the Holy Spirit, Adam. Oxygenate your brain. Is that why we yawn? Didn't oxygenate our brain? David Camp did not come up for the third period. That's not great. That's not great. That's a centerman. You like centerman, you want them to be available. The Leafs do have centerman to be able to take his place, but that's not great. A little chippiness there. But again, not much. All right, here we go. Have a little more coffee. How great is that puck? Is that not a cool mug? It's one of ours. Delicious. Frank Saravalli says, I can't believe it. Is that the real Frank Saravalli? The real Frank Saravalli from Twitter? That is one of the. I am shocked that they didn't make it Gronk Saravalli. That's what it should have been. That can't be the real Frank Saravalli. It can't be. 18-11 left in the third period. Robert Bet, don't worry. Third period. Don't worry. Third is our period. P.S. Missed my earlier chat. Hey, Hayden, do you mind looking up Robert Bet's earlier chat that I might have missed? Sorry about that. Thanks. Hayden is on it, Robert. I will make sure. Sean Page, who only ever speaks in caps lock, says, I'm going to cry if the Leafs lose tonight. Or he's saying, I'm going to cry if the Leafs lose tonight. Sedin Magic 15, something is messing up with the new STP VIP episode. It won't let me watch it even though I'm a member. That is bizarre. Is it out yet? Shouldn't be out yet. Probably not going to be out till Friday morning. Is it posted? Is that accidental? Oh, it's probably scheduled for a premiere on Friday. That's probably why you can't watch it. Okay. Yeah, so there's probably a premiere. That's probably why. It's not out yet. Those aren't out till Friday mornings. Wolfman 1094 says, who do you want to win tonight? Obviously the Leafs. Durr. Although there are a lot of Cats fans in here tonight. You guys are being real nice. Low T, low Toronto scoring. I know. Okay, super chat sent to my phone. It's coming in. I will make sure I get it. Oh, big hit. All right, here we go. We got some offensive zone pressure here. Carlo and Riley out there, which is a defense pairing that you want out there on offensive zone pressure. All right, boys, let's make this happen. Oh, it's Ekman Larson. There he is. Nice little shot. Glove stop. Oh, Nyes with a nice, had a really, really nice tip there. Oh, this is what you wanted to see all second period. They seemed, whatever Berube said to them, they're getting good shots to the net, and honestly, the Leafs stink against Bobrovsky. David Kampf done for the night with an injury. That stinks. I hope that he's not like long-term injured. Maybe they're just holding him up for precautionary reasons. But he is valuable on that fourth line. Now, what it can do is it can mean that the Leafs could free up the cap space to activate somebody like Max Pacioretty. Here comes Bobby McMahon. Look at that speed. Bobby! Oh, I didn't get a great shot away, but he almost had a rebound on it. It's so funny, eh? With Tavares, you almost can make up for the nice move by Tavares in the neutral zone. You can almost make up for the lack of speed Tavares has with the speed that McMahon and Nylander have. Like you can negate it. And Tavares is so good in tight areas. It allows those guys to get what they need. Natalie Drake, hating airports is valid and correct. I wish Steve was in the chat right now. I think he was worried, and I think we all were, that we would get a ton of blowback from airport employees. We didn't. A wise woman said TSA was the worst drag show she'd ever seen, and she was so correct for that. That's interesting. 15-10 left in the third period. Leafs have come back in the shots department, although they still trail the Panthers, 24-20. And there's a shot from the point on Anthony Stolarz. He's going to cover that up. Yarncroke in a staring match with Boquist there at the bench, or at the net. Wow, look. Robert Betts. Yeah, I haven't received your text yet, Hayden, so I'm not sure. I know Robert Betts thing. Oh, here it is. It didn't come through on my computer. Robert Bett was not sure at first, but kind of glad Tavares gave up captaincy. Feels like he can be himself and not have the responsibility. I agree. I also think it was time. I think it was time. It's Matthews' team. He signed his extension. It's his team. He should be the captain. End of story. And it's not that Tavares was a bad captain. I thought he was very solid. I think it was just time for a change. Oh my God, Tanev walked right in front of Stollers with Reinhart right there. Not recommended, even from a guy like Tanev. I'm like, yo, bro, maybe don't do that. There's Tanev retrieving, not walking in front of Stollers with the puck. Marner tries to put the puck around the Panthers defenseman, and he reads that perfectly. I believe that was Forsling. Like, really read that perfectly. That was a bit of a bad shift. Not great. Not great, Bob. There's a chat, by the way, a poll in the chat. Airports, love them, hate them, or I exclusively travel by boat. I know that Justin, who is running the SDPN chat, exclusively travels by boat. All right. Two of the Leafs fourth liners are out there. Lorentz is one of the Leafs fourth liners. He's out there. Tanev done for the night. That's a bummer. Hey, can we get a quick check on the Alexander Ovechkin scoring race? Did we get any goals there, my friend Hayden? 5-1 Carolina with a 5-on-3 power play for whom? For Carolina. Oh. Damn. Jackson Blake, 2 goals tonight. I think he's top 5 in. Was he top 5? Well, he's top 10 in rookie scoring. Son of Jason Blake. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Good for him. He's been really good. You know what, too? Carolina are so good at finding good play. Like, they are so good at being good and remaining good. Like, even though they haven't got past the second round all that much, you look at the run of success they have. Let's have a look. Since we're in commercial. Carolina Hurricanes season by season. So the Carolina Hurricanes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight years in the playoffs. And then they were bad before that. But they have been they basically won around every single year they've been in on this run that they're on. Kind of nuts. 22 penalty minutes for each team in the Caps Carolina game. Crazy. Crazy. Sorry, I'm enjoying this coffee, waking back up again. This game is decidedly lacking in spirit. I picked this game because I thought this will be a monster. It's not. Hayden says, do we want to do this or the random Monday night games we used to do? Well, they're fun Monday night games when the Leafs are playing. But yeah, no, I'll take this. Here comes Nylander. He's up there with Bobby McMahon. Nice move. Puts it to Tavares' feet, and it's going to be a turnover. I think he forced the pass there. Probably had a little bit more time than he thought he did. There's Sam Bennett. Moves in on, Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Panthers have a little lightning in their legs right now. Not Tampa Bay Lightning. Oh, that's not a great pass. Leafs have got to get out of their own zone here. They're kind of flopping around. Nice play by Nylander to get it to McMahon. Let's see if he uses his speed here. He's going to try to break wide. Defensemen are getting wise to this guy. He's not blowing by them the way he used to be able to because they know. But he's a big body, and he skates like the wind, and he can handle the puck the entire way. That's going to be useful in the playoffs. Drive to the net. Kind of like what Matthew Nyes does. Covered by Bobrovsky. 12:40 left in the third period. Ripper Nation. All right. Richard Triofino says, there might be more people working for SDP tonight than there are in the benches for the final 5 minutes of the Caps game. Yeah, I mean, how much you want to bet those teams play in the second round? I'd put money on that. Like, because it'll be Carolina, New Jersey, and New Jersey's just had terrible injury luck. Unless New Jersey pulls a rabbit out of a hat, and listen, it can happen. It's the playoffs. You think Carolina's going to get through, and then it would be Washington, Montreal. And Montreal are playing with house money. Like, it's going to be their first playoff appearance with this new era. They haven't played a game in the playoffs since the Stanley Cup Finals in 2021. Like, this is going to be an exciting, cool moment for Montreal. And if they win a game in the series, that will be the victory. If they win two, oh my God, icing on the cake. But you'd think the Caps have got them, right? It's hockey, but kind of think that they got them. And then that puts them, these two teams, and their virulent hate for each other against each other in that second round. And what'll be cool about that series is how closely fought it will be. Like, it will be a dog on a bone type series. All like defense, energy. It'll be a great watch. Nyes in the corner. Leafs are changing, so not a lot of support for him. Yarncroke, Domi line going out there. Nyes is changing. Yarncroke along the board with two Panthers. Domi and Lawton in there to help. Domi comes out with it, loses it to Reinhart. The Panthers want to get a change in. Leafs go right back in. Jake McCabe dumps the puck. 4 checks. Seth Jones hits him. Puck's in the corner. Leafs lose it. Back to Reinhart, who definitely wants a change now. And now we got almost a 2-on-1 here. Rodriguez, who has been a Leaf killer in the past. Nope, he's good there. Ooh. Nate Schmidt fans on a pass. Calle Yarncroke was ready to block it, but would probably prefer not to get hit by a puck. I don't know. They have the choice. Richard Triofino, I am a Caps fan, but they haven't won a series since they won the Cup. Well, they are pretty good this year, Rich. If there's a year that they're going to do it, like last year they were not. The year before they were not. This year they were unbelievable. Like, we knew they were good, but this good? Come on. Nobody knew they were this good. What amazing trades and everything that they did this summer that worked out for them so well. Stadine Magic 15 super chatted me. I just got my first glimpse of Marchand in a Panthers jersey. It's plain weird. Yeah. It's so weird. Hayden thinks it looks like it fits. Oh no, Hayden, you're right. It fits. It's just weird, but it fits. Oh my God. How did the Leafs just let him walk in there? You're freaking kidding me. What are you doing, guys? I know McCabe just played 2 straight minutes and he's gassed, but like, are we kidding? Look at this. Watch this. They walk right in. And I know, again, McCabe should have gone he should have got off the ice there. Oh, he's gassed. Yeah, he's exhausted. Okay, that's why. And Riley had his man, so it prevented the Godovich pass, which is good. Sophia Vladizon, I'm sad they got rid of Dewar. They kind of had to for cap reasons, right? You couldn't keep him. They needed to move on for some guys. They're lucky they got any assets at all for that. Oh, Marchand just took another high sticking. And it looks like the Leafs got away with it. Wow. I mean, Marchand felt like he got shot, which is the smart thing to do. Oh, and then his line almost scores. Hey, if the Leafs could play with like 90% of the energy, 80% of the energy the Panthers have, that'd be super. Oh, here we go, Bobby McMahon. Bobby McMahon. Oh, what a save by Bobrovsky. Great setup by Tavares. Great setup. Oh, Bobrovsky has this damn team's number. It's driving me crazy. Ah. Tanev to Matthews. That's who it is. Scores! Mitch Marner! Big goal! It comes off a Matthews shot. Rebound. Matthews gets it to Marner. The Panthers are tired. Nobody picks Mitch up. Big goal. Big goal. Leafs up 2-1. You know what? I got to say it. They have been the better team in the third. Oh, Nylander. What a pass to McMahon. They have. They've got more scoring chances. It's so nice to see it go in for them. That is a clutch goal by Mr. Four Nations clutch himself, Mitchell Marner. Wow. And Marne's barn goes nuts. Marne's barn. Get it? Let's go. Let's go. Mitch Marner, 6-game point streak, 9 points in those 6 games. Leafs forever saying he's bricked up. Well, Joseph Wall isn't playing. How much time left? 9:08 left in the third period. Whew. Mitch Marner, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was going to be very sad. Now I could just be nervous and anxious, which is better than sad. What's that, Hayden? Yeah, update Carolina-Washington game. Go ahead. 5-1. How many minutes are 55-44? So we got a barn burner. That's a good old fight night in Carolina and Washington. That's in Raleigh, by the way. Gary Bettman is in attendance for that game. I'm sure he's just loving it. How many suspensions tomorrow? There's Domi across to Benoit into the zone. Natalie gifting 10 SDPN memberships. That, I believe, is my wife, Natalie. Natalie gifting 10 SDPN memberships. Make sure you give her a bit of a shout out if you've now become a member. Welcome to being the cool people. Oh, the Leafs almost give one up there. Poor defense. Poor defense. Gary Hall, welcome to SDP VIP. Gary just upgraded from being Gary to Gary, member of the SDPN channel. Gary, membership benefits. DeFilo says, trick question, Adam. 0 suspension in the Caps Carolina game. True. Stamikevich almost scored. Thank God that wasn't somebody like Reinhardt. Otherwise, that would have been the back of the net. Yay. Big goal, Mitch Marner. Big goal. Thank God. There's a super chat that I missed from Fernfang. Hello. Looks like Marner remembered to dunk his head in Saratoga ice water this morning. True. And then he rubbed a banana on his face and had his lady servant help him get dressed. By the way, we talked about that guy in this week's SDP VIP, which is out on Friday. And it's great. Because, you had his morning routine, right? He gets up at 3:45 a.m. Stupid. 3:45 a.m. Yuck. Well, how does he do that? It's because he goes to bed early. And don't worry, he's got a nighttime routine too. Frank Leone, big ups to Natalie. Go Leafs, go. Natalie getting tons of props. F. Fox, a Panthers fan, has now become a member of SDP VIP. Shout out F. Fox, a Cats fan, joining the SDPN membership club, where we welcome all. And we love you. Where did you DM it to me, Hayden? On Twitter. So Hayden DM'd me camp/shift from Tic Tac Tomar. Let's see what happens here. Did he take a puck? Oh, it looks like he took a puck off something. Where is it? Calling him off the face-off. What happens here? He looks like he's hurt. It doesn't look like it's a lower body. It looks like an upper body. Is it a puck off the shoulder or something? Or off the hand? He's got one hand on his stick. Yeah, it's kind of a nondescript play. Anyway, you guys can check it out. Tic Tac Tomar's got it on his Twitter page. Oh, big save by Stolers. Big save by Stolers. Holy moly. What a goalie. Woo! That was great. Suck it, Mikola. Wow. Wow, what a save. You suck, Mikola. And I say that with respect because he's actually pretty good. Wow, Stoller's great save. Mikola's sad. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. If Nico Mikola's sad, I'm happy. So, what is it? So there are 12 guys in the box. It's a 5-on-3 for who? For the Hurricanes. 12 people in the box. Wow, this is sounds like a hell of a game. 74-70 are the penalty minutes. Well, at least the Stripes are calling a non-favorited game. At least they're calling a fair game, 74-70. You can't say they were unfair. Even in a game where the penalty minutes are goofy. 144 penalty minutes already called. The refs are like, you know what? We got to make sure this is even. Otherwise, people might get mad at us. Call the rules, boys. Call the rules. Domi line out there. They've had good shifts all night. It hasn't gone in for them, but good shifts. Scott Lawton shoots it. Oh, it's a little weird watching the Lawton line on defense because Lawton and Yarncroke seem to rove a lot defensively. And I don't know if that's on purpose or not, but they seem to be doing that. Man, I'm looking at some of the there's been a lot of fights in this Caps Canes game. They're yelling at each other from the box. Gino Hart has posted some really good stuff. A lot of guys getting kicked out of the game. I can't wait. I cannot wait for that to be a playoff series. I hope it is. Richard Trufino, have some faith in your team. Emo Jalapeno dropping 5 STPN memberships. Gary Hall dropping 5 STPN memberships. Robert Bett dropping 5 STPN memberships. People are happy. The people are pumped. Lots of STPN memberships popping in. Alex Mercer asks, Adam, will you be back on Prime anytime soon? Well, they've only got a couple weeks left, and none of them are in Toronto, so probably not this season. But my hope is we get on next season. I would love to do more Prime stuff. I would love it. Josh Halliburton, Adam, how you feeling being back from your trip? I'm feeling great. It's nice to be back in our routine. I loved every minute in San Jose. But I also realized, hey, we're pretty lucky here. It's a pretty good thing we got going. There's a lot of work, long days, but man, we get to hang out together like this. How great is this? 5:08 left in the third period. 2-1 Leafs. The Panthers are going to. Oh, what a pass! Matt Knies on a breakaway. Score! What a goal, Matthew Knies! Woo-hoo! I believe that is his 50th point of the season. That was unreal. I don't know who made that pass to him. Yeah, 26th goal, 50th point, 71st game. Jake McCabe is hurt. What happened? Oh, no, it's the linesman. So Mitch Marner made that pass. What an effing pass that was. Holy smokes. Look at this. Just perfect pass. Unreal, Mitchell. You are the first star tonight. And what a finish by Knies. Holy. Mitch Marner's getting that belt tonight. You give that belt to Mitch Marner tonight. And it's on Mikkola, too. Oh, I love when Nico Mikkola is sad. Oh, sad Mikkola. Look at him. Shame, Mikola. Shame. I only say that because I respect him. But shame. What a goal. Marner with 69 assists this season, which is nice. That's a nice amount of assists. Nice. 4:51 left in the third. Okay, so McCabe and the linesman smashed into each other, but they're both okay. I imagine that smashing into a guy as big as McCabe would be painful. All right, let's go get another one. Kind of like the Nashville Predators chant. Thank you. May I have another? Let's go. Oh, there's Matthews. They put that line right back out there. Nyes, Marner, Matthews, they're all out there. It's happening. Good for Matthew Nyes getting 26 goals and getting 50 points this year. He's been an absolute stud muffin. Also, he's cool as hell. How do you not love Matt Nyes? My favorite Matthew Nyes moment is last year in the playoffs. David Pasternak was picking on somebody. I think it was like Pontus Holmberg or something like that. And Matthew Nyes happened to be out there. And, Pasternak's like threatening him or something. And then Nyes looks at him and he goes, go me. Go me. And Pasternak skates away and he's like, yeah, that's what I thought. Love that. Love that shit. Love that shit. Guy is all cojones, There's some guys that they have the cojones. 5-1 Hurricanes final. I can't wait to see all the fights. I can't wait for the highlights from that game. Ovi did get a goal, though. Alex Mercer, Adam, will Prime stream any NHL playoff games? Not this season and not next season. I don't believe also that they will stream any playoff games with the NHL rights deal in. It depends on whatever deal they strike with Sportsnet. But Sportsnet, that's a penalty. Yep, that's a penalty. Lundell just drew a penalty from Holmberg. And when I say drew, I mean he drew it, he traced it, he colored it in. Carlo hurt his wrist there too. Can we not get hurt in this game? That'd be cool. Okay, Lundell. That's a freaking dive, baby. That's a dive. What was I saying? I forgot. One of the joys of having ADHD is that if you don't say it right at the moment you think it, it's gone forever. Forever. Oh, it was the prime stuff. Yeah, so here's the deal. And we talk about this a lot in today's episode, which is up right now. Rogers has the rights to everything, which means they're going to sub-license the French rights to somebody, probably RDS or TVA in Quebec, because they're not going to do French language broadcasts. They never have. And then it also means that they have a night per week available during the regular season. What that means is, so there are 3 national hockey nights during the regular season. You'll get regional games on other nights, but the national nights are Saturday, Monday, and Wednesday. And Monday's rights are kind of a bummer because you go up against the NFL every Monday for like half the season. So Wednesday is sort of more of a primo night, and Saturday is obviously the most important night. So if we're talking like ranking from the best nights to have for a national night, it's Saturday, and then it's Wednesday, and then it's Monday. And Tony Staffieri, when he was asked today, Tony Staffieri is the CEO of Rogers. He was asked at the press conference today, hey guys, or they asked, Tony, would you be open to sub-licensing one of your national nights out to, say, someone like Amazon? And Tony was like, yeah, we've had a great partnership with Amazon. We're more than willing to have that conversation. So I think that's going to happen. Now, will Amazon want to buy playoff games or license a playoff game per round or something like that from Rogers? Maybe. Will Rogers give that up? I don't know. Depends probably on what the price is. So I can't tell you whether or not Amazon will ever do playoff games in the next 12 years for this deal. But I can tell you that they will probably be back in the regular season. They've been saying that they're going to do it, that they're here to stay. So Oh, McCabe. Oh, okay. McCabe and the ref. Oh, boy. Wow, they were going slow. So the Toronto training staff talking to this linesman. Alicia Gray says, "Thank you to that membership, whoever sent it." Now that's what you do. You thank people for sending that. Josh Halliburton, Adam, who do you want the Leafs to play in the first round? And that's for the rest of the SDPN crew as well. Anybody. Play anybody. I want them to win the division. Win the division. Why does that matter? Because they never have. They've never won the Atlantic Division, ever, because it didn't exist before. The last time they won a non-COVID division, it was like 1999. And then before that, it was the 60s. Win a freaking division, boys. Oh, there's a goal. Reinhardt again. Damn it. 1-goal game. Need to win a division. Need to win a division. Need to not be taking soft penalties. I listen, I don't agree with the penalty call. I understand why the ref called it, but Lindell made that ref look like an idiot. And this penalty kill is flat out not good enough. That was not good enough. Wow. All right, now you know that Florida's likely to pull the goalie here. So 2 minutes, 38 seconds. I believe Bobrovsky will be pulled here as soon as the Panthers gain possession and the Leafs win the draw. So that's a good sign. They're going to chip it in. Bob McMahon in on Seth Jones. Lindell is out there. Reinhardt is out there looking for another goal. Bobrovsky's going to probably go to the bench right now. I wish they had an extra cam. They used to have, when they weren't so cheap, a cam where you would be able to put the camera on the goalie and you see a little smaller square where you'd see the goalie racing to the bench. They don't do that anymore because apparently that's too much money. But it would be cool if they did so you could see it, right? 2 minutes to go. Net is empty. 6-on-5. Florida, Tirana. Everybody knows this is a big game. McMahon is able to take a Seth Jones shot or bank shot and tip it out, which is good. Yeah. So to answer the question, win the division and let the chips fall where they may. Also, are you guys listen, a Florida versus Tampa first round would be sick. We know it would be sick. So for the narrative, the hashtag narrative, an all Florida matchup would be sick again. Sorry, I keep rubbing my nose. Allergies are killing me in here. All right. 1 minute 55 to go, guys. Sorry, I needed to take a minute to collect myself. Leafs have not admittedly played their best game, but their third period has been very good. Get possession. Get the puck. Okay. Reinhardt at the point. Lundell. Down low. Bennett back out to the point. Lundell. Bennett on the half board. Now takes over at the point. Puck goes through, but it goes wide. Marner tries to get the puck out. Not a lot of support there for him. Now he bats it out. It will probably be icing. Oh, barely icing. That's such a crap icing call. That's absolute dog crap. I can't swear on the stream or YouTube's going to get mad at me, but you know what I meant. That's crap. Mitch Marner dude, he's the first star. He's getting the bell tonight. Mitch Marner is an absolute stud tonight. Absolute monster out there. Dylan TV Villain has gifted an STPN membership. Thank you, Dylan TV Villain. Yay, Dylan. Dan McGran, you got a sub from Dylan TV Villain. Both with rhyming names. Hilarious. Okay, 70 seconds. Let's go. Puck goes out. Marner gets it again. Shoots it down the ice. It goes to the blue line. Panthers keep it in. 1 minute to go. And the puck is iced. And it looks close, but no. Can the Leafs beat it? No, they can't. Jay Skizzle says, Dan Boyle dropped so many F-bombs in your interview. What are you worried about? Well, on the live stream, it's rough. Is Steven here? Steve Dangle? Is Steve Dangle in here? No, he's not. All right, win the damn face off and put this freaking game away. 51 seconds left on the clock here. Come on, boys. Let's go. Get out to the point. Gap up on your man. 34 seconds to go. Leafs' legs are tired. They've been out there a long time. Matthews gets it out to the point. Bennett stops it. Gap up, boys. Gap up. 17 seconds. 15 seconds. Puck goes out. So there is 14 seconds left in this game. These boys need to breathe. Oh my God. Now, Craig Simpson on the broadcast makes a good point. Maybe Berube wants to take a timeout here. I think that might be a good idea because you're going to leave your best players out, but he's not going to do it. Doesn't want to do it. Oh, the puck almost leaves. 9 seconds to go. Come on, boys. Put this away. 5 seconds. Come on, this is for a playoff spot. Come on, this is for the division. 1 second, and the Leafs beat the Florida Panthers. And the fans know it. It's a big, big win for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Anthony Stolarz was huge tonight. Mitch Marner was huge tonight. And the Toronto Maple Leafs, with 96 points on the NHL season compared to the second place Florida Panthers with 92, that is a big spread. That is a big differential. And by the way, actually, the Florida Panthers are in third place now. They don't even have home ice, if you look at it. The Tampa Bay Lightning are ahead of them. Tampa Bay Lightning are ahead of them with 93 points. So Florida, with 2 losses in a row to Montreal and Toronto, have slipped to third in the division. Tampa, if things remain the same, will have home ice advantage. The Toronto Maple Leafs, 96 points. Tampa, 93. Florida, 92. Boy, that couldn't be a tighter division. Could not be tighter. It's crazy. Wow. That was pretty exciting. And Wes Richard dropping 5 STPN memberships. Jay Skizzle says, are you in? I am in. I am in. I know I missed a super chat in there too. I know I did. Hang on, I'm coming back. Lots of woos in the chat. Lots of victory puppies in the chat. Puck Guy 14. When do you need your next orange sauce delivery? Oh, that's a question for Steve. He loves that stuff. I mean, I love it too. It's delish. Can we get that in Canada? I don't think we can. Guys, that was fun. Victory puppies all around. A little stressful at the end. Would have been cool if they got an empty netter, but whatever, man. Whatever, man. Now, important detail before I leave you. I am doing a cap stream on Friday because Ovechkin is now 3 goals away from beating Wayne Gretzky, 2 from tying him for first all-time ever. And there is a stat on the stream. Gretzky took 1,487 games to get to 894 goals. Ovechkin currently sits just 2 games behind at 1,485, 892 goals. Can Ovechkin score a hat trick and get it done faster then Wayne Gretzky did it. All Ovechkin actually has to do to tie the record and beat Gretzky on that one is 2 goals. If he gets 3, he beats him, and he does it in less games too. That's a great stat, Hayden. Great stat. All right, guys, I love you. That was fun. The Leafs have clinched a playoff spot, by the way. Congrats to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Officially in the playoffs. Kendra says, got off work just in time to catch the win. Go Leafs, go. Yes, Kendra. Gary Hall, as I mentioned, I am watching delayed and just saw Tavares goal in the second. I do know that the night ends well. Yes, it does, Gary. Yes, it does. They have clinched the playoff spot. Thank you to the mods, Justin and Robert. Thank you, Hayden, for great stuff on the production side. And we will see you back here on Friday with either Hayden or Drew producing the game for Alexander Ovechkin taking on the Chicago Blackhawks at home. Love you all, and I will see you Friday.